It is high school basketball on the docket here tonight at Northwest High School. Blake Walker and Tyler French coming to you live here on CISN.TV. The number 1 ranked Johnston Dragons on the road taking on the number 9 Waukee Northwest Wolves. And it is a kind of a tale of David and Goliath of how these two seasons have gone as of late.
Yeah, it has. I mean, Johnston 13-0 this season. They have not lost in 2 seasons. The state championship game against Waukee was the last time they lost a basketball game. Number 1 in the state. They've had a couple hiccups this year, a couple close calls, and overtime game against Centennial was one of them. Waukee Northwest 4-6, still ranked top 10. That shows you just how strong of opponents these girls play. Looking for a rebound. Need a rebound against a very tough team. The craziest thing about Johnston, very young. Their top 3 leading scorers, none of them are seniors. 2 juniors and a freshman that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Yeah. Johnston is unbelievable.
Yeah, and Northwest on the other side, they've lost 4 out of their last 5. At one point, they were in the top 5 in rankings, starting the season off 3-2. But it has been a rough stretch from that only win coming in a blowout win over Urbandale, who themselves hasn't had a great season. But yeah, that strength of schedule. The CIML has so many great teams year in and year out. And Northwest, a team that's really struggled offensively to kind of establish their identity, and you can see it in the scoring averages when you compare Johnston, a team that's 64 points a game, to Northwest that's 43 and getting outscored by 2.5 per game.
They love to score. You have to. I mean, they say defense wins championships, but Johnston just loves to score the basketball. We've seen that state tournament when they get there. but they're really good down low this year, and they like to pride themselves on that. You know, after last year, they lost a couple big post players, but then they bring in Jenica Lewis, the stout freshman who can shoot from anywhere on the floor. And when you play a really tough schedule like they do, I mean, their last 5 opponents, probably more, have been ranked. You got to have good shooters on the floor, exactly what Johnston has.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jenica Lewis, a player that's been getting national prestige since she was in middle school, and now kind of making a lot of those scouts really happy with how she's adjusted to the high school game. Got off to a little bit of a slow start in those first couple games, but she has really come alive and has more threes this year than almost the entire Northwest roster.
I mean, she's shooting almost 50% from the floor, and from three-point range, she's a 42% shooter. So, I mean, it's scary to think. She's just a freshman, and she has this much ahead of her. She's going to be a huge part of tonight's game. Johnston in general, 44% from the floor. Northwest just 35%. Sometimes some teams are just better at putting it in the basket.
Yeah, and defense is where something that Northwest in the past has hung their hat on all the way back to, I say all the way back. It's been 2 seasons since Chris Guest was at Waukee. Northwest defensively got after it last year. They've done the same this year, holding teams to just 45 a game. But when you're only putting up 43, that's not going to lead to a lot of wins.
No, it doesn't. And, defensively is huge, but for Northwest also rebounding. They don't really have a ton of height on this Northwest team. This season they're getting out-rebounded 447 to 263. Johnston with 447. Granted, they played 3 more games, but rebounding becomes very crucial. Whether you can score or you can't score, whether you can defend or you can't defend. If Northwest has a chance tonight, you got to play better on defense. You got to rebound better. These 2 teams met not that long ago, February 29th. Johnston won 59-32. It's big when you play a team a second time around. You learn from that first time, come back around, make it better.
Yeah, and you mentioned the rebounding. Johnston, a team that, they may not have a post player in the starting lineup that stands at 6'1" that we'll see from Sadie Moss on Northwest side, but every player out there is going to stand 5'10" or taller, and that type of group height allows every single player to be able to attack the boards.
Yeah, and last year they had Jimphy, which they could use as a decoy. Now they can't. Now they just shoot, and it's one of those things that Northwest is going to have to be ready. If you have a post player or if someone comes up big, yeah, you can make it big. Sadie Moss could be that person. We've seen her improve, it feels like, as the season's gone on, averaging about 10 points per contest. She could be a big difference maker tonight for Northwest as well.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with some players to watch and what to expect from both teams as we get forward toward starting lineups here tonight. You're watching CIML Basketball on CISN.TV.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Back here at the Northwest Gymnasium, the Den, as it's come to known, with the Wolfpack. The student sections filling in for both teams a little bit here tonight. Not quite the atmosphere we're going to have that we saw with that Waukee Northwest game, a game that will be a rematch of a week from today, but all eyes tonight are on this Johnston matchup as Northwest looking to bounce back and Johnston trying to remain undefeated.
Yeah, and it's hard to stay undefeated. I mean, that's the crazy thing. They've had that target on their back. You and I talked about before we went on air the target that Waukee Northwest boys had all season long. You come in undefeated. Johnston's had to deal with that for over a year. I mean, all last year, you're like, all right, who are they going to lose to? They just haven't faltered. It's kind of like Gonzaga when they play in their conference. You're like, oh, they can't keep getting away with this. They're going to have to lose sooner or later. But Johnston is calm, cool, and collected. That Centennial game a couple weeks ago really surprised me because they were down. They struggled. Centennial had them on the ropes. They sat back. Jenica Lewis took over a little bit. They were able to get away with the victory. They've played close games. They've played very talented teams. They played number 2 Dallas Center Grimes, who's currently number 1 in Class 4A, and beat them by 7. That was tough. On the road, able to get away with it. Even if you play this team close, you got to finish against them. That's something that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, and it's great to see this kind of resolve from these young players. Jenica Lewis taking over in that overtime game, not something that a lot of freshmen can step up and do. Northwest does have a talented young freshman of their own in Ashley Brown, not quite on the level as Jenica Lewis, but few players really are, even in the juniors and senior class, that'll have that much talent. But Ashley Brown, a player that I've really liked to see grow this year, more talent for her as she's gotten used to high school basketball, made adjustments, and as that shot starts to round out for her, she's going to be really a multi-talented weapon for this team as they move forward in her career. But Sadie Moss, the player to watch tonight, she's got to be big, both offensively and defensively, and Northwest wants to pull the upset.
And she's been on and off, and that's the thing. What Sadie Moss do we get tonight? That's the biggest question. But yes, very solid. Almost 50% from the floor. You can ask that. You would love that from your center or from your post player. The fact that she does that for Northwest gives a lot of options for Coach Guess and his offense.
And has even shown a little bit of a willingness to step outside and shoot threes. She's only taken 4 of them on the season, but if she develops that a little bit more, adds at least to something else. That was one of the reasons Northwest lost to Dowling last year. Cameron Weirs, they forced her to step outside, was unwilling to take shots, and one of the reasons they fell behind so much.
Yeah, exactly.
So the national anthem coming up. We'll take another break and be right back here with starting lineups. You're watching CIML basketball on CISN.TV.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western. More jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Welcome back here on CISN as we are set for number 1, Johnston versus number 9, Northwest. We'll go to the public address announcer for the starting lineups for both teams here tonight.
Tonight's game officials as assigned by the CIML are Mr. Bill Dotson, Mr. Travis Carroll, and Mr. Mark Vanderhaar. Now, fans, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. For the Dragons, 5'10" freshman, number 10, Jenica Lewis. And for your Northwest Wolves, 5'5" senior, number 2, Gail Madison. For the Dragons, 5'8" junior, number 22, Aaliyah Riley. And for your Wolves, 5'8" senior, number 10, Megan Lance. For the Dragons, a 5'8" senior, number 24, Molly Nelk. And for your Wolves, 5'8" junior, number 14, Josie Vandercroll. For Johnston, a 5'11" junior, number 30, Eileen Tinky. contestant, 6'1" senior, number 33, Emma Hampton. And for gold, 6'1" senior, number 34, Sadie Moss. The head coach of the Johnston Dragons is Jan Tillich, and the head coach of the Northwest Wolves is Chris Guess.
We are in for an exciting night of basketball, doubleheader action here tonight. And any final thoughts before we get this one started?
I think for Northwest, biggest thing is you got to hit the glass. I mean, that's going to be one of the big things. You got to rebound the basketball. Force Johnston to take contested shots. If you give them wide open shots, Johnston just does not miss. They are that good from the floor. You're looking at a 9% shooting difference when it comes to shooting percentages between Johnston and Waukee Northwest. And take advantage of the atmosphere if you're Johnston. I mean, this place isn't full. I mean, it just doesn't feel like a Friday night basketball game. There's not a lot of people here yet for the boys' game, I guess. Not a lot of people come out for the girls' game at least tonight, but Johnston, take advantage, get on top early so you don't have to get things figured out late.
Avery Vogt getting the start in place of Ashley Brown here tonight. The freshman swapping in for her classmate. Vogt this year, a 5'9" freshman, has been shooting pretty well from the field, just under 58%. And we'll see what she can bring defensively here tonight. Ashley Brown has been taking a lot of the ball handling responsibilities, so we'll see how that changes game plan tonight. Opening tip is won by Emma Hampton, and we are underway as it's thrown here to the near side for Tanky. Northwest, a team, like I mentioned in pregame, it likes to hang their hat defensively, and they're going to have their work cut out for one of the top scoring teams here in the state. As this one passed back to the top for Lewis, the star freshman, tipped away but recovered. And down low, first basket attempt put up, and you said attacking the glass, and Moss coming away with the rebound early on.
Good handsy defense by Northwest there early. Pretty much everybody had to be forced to pick up the basketball. That's a good start for Northwest.
Moss will step back, attempt the three, her first miss of the season actually from downtown. Rebounded by Tanky and coming back the other way. Ball handled by Aaliyah Riley, who will give it off to Lewis, guarded closely here by the senior Kayla Madison. Madison has had a little bit of a knee injury she's dealt with throughout the year, but not affecting her here tonight. Lewis will get to the rim, and she's going to be fouled. I think this one might be coming against the freshman, Avery Vogt.
She looks just like her younger brother. I mean, or her older brother. I mean, from Trey last year. That's just the type of athlete that Jenica Lewis is. She will take it to the basket if she can't find a shot outside. Really nice job.
That'll send Lewis to the free throw line this year, 66%, knocking in 2/3, but will miss the first one, so we still remain scoreless. Foul was officially called against Avery Vogt, her first, team first, with about a minute gone here in the first quarter. Lewis bounces back, knocks in the second free throw. And Northwest will try to answer back on the other side. Madison bringing the ball down. Expect to see the ball in her hands a lot with no Ashley Brown here in the starting lineup. As Moss will pop out, shoot another three. This one is an air ball as Lawns tries to attack the offensive glass, but the rebound eventually brought in by Nolk, and it'll come back the other way as Johnson looks to add to their lead. Ball given off to Lewis, gets into the heart of the defense, swatted as Sadie Moss goes up for that block, and it's going to be a jump ball. It'll go back to Northwest, and that is what Sadie Moss brings defensively with that 6'1" frame.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go down low, and with her on offense, I think it's really interesting. You know, I don't know if they're purposely not covering her, but they must think that she can't make those type of shots. So if I'm Sadie, just keep shooting.
Vogt will catch it here in the near corner and looked away before she had the ball in her possession. It's going to be an early turnover for Northwest. The type of plays you can't have when you're playing the number one team in the state.
It is tough. I mean, you know, you can force turnovers all you want. Northwest forcing about 15 turnovers per contest. Johnston just 10.
Tanky with the ball here at the top of the key. One hard dribble, pass over to the near side for Hampton. Hampton guarded up top by Vogt. Her and Tanky, both the type of players that can play inside and out a little bit. Driving in, Lewis will lay it in. Her first basket of the game, and Johnson extends her lead to 3-0 here early on in the first quarter.
Really good players can do good without the basketball in their hands. That's exactly what Jenica Lewis is able to do there. Jump off a screen.
And that's the type of growth you like to see early on in a player's career. Everyone can stand around and shoot when the ball comes to him, as Vanderkroll misses the layup, able to corral her own miss, though, and bring it back outside. But when you can move without the ball, that's going to be a big thing for you to create shots for yourself, especially as defenses start to, focus on her as she gets a little bit older.
I agree. I mean, just the ability to get around, improve of your game when you're getting older, it's a big part. I mean, you see, that's why Jenica Lewis is so scary as just a freshman.
Madison gets the inbounds pass in, trying to set some screens down low to get the ball to Moss, the team's leading scorer. Madison will pop out, fire the three, and drills it from downtown. Hasn't been knocking it in at her normal rate from last year where she shot 38% at Roosevelt, but she gets the three here to tie things up.
It's the start you want for Sadie, and like I said, you just got to keep shooting.
Off the screen, Riley trying to dribble in and gets to the rim, lays it in, and gives Johnston the lead back, 5-3. Pass back the other way, tipped away by Lewis out of bounds, and it'll stay with Northwest. Ashley Brown and Nere Barnes will check in for Northwest as Lawns and Vogt take a seat. Barnes, another player that can light it from downtown as well as play some good on-ball D. That's kind of been the case for a lot of these Northwest players. When you've got Barnes, Lawns, and Madison, who she lines up another one, puts it up but can't haul it in. As the rebound brought in by Moss, she'll get it back out. Another shot for Madison. This one short as well.
Got to appreciate the boards, though. I mean, the offensive rebounding's there for Northwest. Just got to turn some points into it.
Northwest already with 3 offensive rebounds as this one is drilled from downtown by Allie Tankey.
She's a good post player. She doesn't seem like she'd be quite that type of shooter, but she is.
Beautiful post move down low as Moss goes to that non-dominant hand. They expect her to go to that left hand a lot, but she goes to the right this time, catches the defense sleeping, and scores her first basket. And it's going to be another jump ball. This time stay with Johnston. Moss getting on the ground to tie Tankey up.
They're aggressive. I mean, the defense is aggressive early. They're handsy. They want to get after the basketball, forcing Johnston to pick it up a couple more times than they probably want to. Good start here defensively, at least, for Northwest.
Riley gets the inbounds pass in. Caught at the top and right back at Riley down low. She looks to put the post move on. Tipped away, and Moss again getting after it defensively. One of the things that she brings is that high energy. And as you can see right here, she runs to the basket, draws the defender in, opens the three up for Brown. She just can't knock it down.
They're getting open looks. I mean, that's the plus. And I'm sure Coach Guest is just going to keep telling them, if you're open, you just got to shoot it. They're going to fall eventually.
Tankey takes another three. This one missed. Brown will bring in the rebound and lead the charge coming back the other way. Crossover at mid-court. Kick back out to Barnes. He'll get over to Vanderkroll at the top of the key. Northwest, a team that has had to learn to be patient. Last year they were able to give the ball to Reagan Bartholomew, kind of let her go to work and build the offense from inside out. This one left short once again by Moss. Continue to take those outside jumpers. They're letting her take her, but she's 0 for 3 on those attempts so far.
I mean, the plan's working for Johnston if you're a Dragon fan. That's exactly what you want to see happen. But that time she was able to create a little bit of separation on her own.
Riley drives in. She's fouled by Madison. Will go to the line for 2.
And I think Johnston, you want to get to the line a lot tonight. I think that's something you could see early. They're trying to get down low. Northwest able to give a couple blocks so far, but, aggressive take to the basket. Riley gets rewarded for it.
Riley 2 points so far. Had that layup earlier. First shot gets the shooter's hole. She left it a little bit short, but it'll fall through for the point. Riley on the season, third on the team, and made free throws at 25 of 41, 61% entering tonight's game.
Anytime you can get to the free throw line, grab some free points, always a plus side.
Second one rims in and out. Moss fights hard and brings in the rebound. 4 of them already for her here tonight. The main problem for Northwest is you've got Sadie Moss, but she's not going to be out there playing 32 minutes a night as Madison lines up another one and hits it. That's going to be big tonight. If they can knock down their threes, something they've struggled with this season, it'll give them an opportunity to at least stick with Johnston and try and keep this one close.
I mean, they're being left open. I mean, you got to take the advantage when you can.
Speaking of advantage, Tankey can't take advantage of the height differential down low, and Moss comes away with another board, and she's going to be fouled on a reach-in.
Yeah, Balsley came around the edge and just tried to reach around, going a little too aggressive after a rebound. This is the best start you could ask for Coach Guest and his team.
Balsley, the 5'6 junior, checked in recently for Johnston. First substitution for them for the game, as well as Jace Blanchard, a player that we'll see a lot throughout this game, one of the top bench players for this squad. Vanderkroll pops to the top of the key, puts the 3 up. Vanderkroll's been a player that hasn't been afraid to take that shot, just hasn't knocked him down consistently. Just a junior this year, still 1 year left with this team. Hope that she'll continue to grow and maybe improve that going to next year. And this is going to be a foul as Lewis takes it to the rim.
She's good at drawing contact. I mean, just she could go inside and it won't matter. She'll at least get somebody to lay a hand on her, just enough for the referee to get it.
And that time, Josie Vanderkirk and Ashley Brown in on there trying to get the stop, and she still got the shot off. Lewis 1 for 2 from the line so far. Knocks in the first one. Vanderkirk will take a seat. Megan Lawn's checking back in. Lawn's been a big breakout player, something we saw as well last season, where she was one of the top bench performers. This year, the team's top three-point shooter and one of their top scorers as well.
Yeah, 11 of 26, 42% from the floor, beyond three-point line.
Lewis knocks in both, gets Johnston's lead back up to 3. Madison will bring the ball down for Northwest as they look to answer. About 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Johnston with the 11-8 lead. Moss continuing to work down low. Expect her to see her play big minutes here tonight, as she's been the only player that hasn't really left the floor. Her and Madison, probably the two most important players for this team tonight.
I hate to say it, she might not get a ton of rest tonight.
And it's going to be an offensive foul here. That'll go, I believe, against Moss. That'll be her first. Chloe Hayes, really the only other true post that sees time. And, you know, it's tough to call her a true post, mostly just a tall player that is more of a wing in a post body. Yeah. As she can step outside, shoot threes, but not the biggest rebounder or post player.
4 fouls committed already on Northwest. Clearly, Johnston has a plan of attack. Northwest just hasn't gone inside a ton tonight.
Speaking of going inside, Riley gets to the rim again, and she's got another basket. Give her 5 so far. And substitution as Cortland Jackson checked into the game for Johnston, replacing Jenica Lewis. Madison going to line up another 3. This one left short, tipped around, and Moss will track in the long offensive rebound. Oh. Barnes going up for that one, and it's going to be a foul here against Riley. Incidental contact, but that's a tough hit for both players.
It could have been head-to-head. Luckily, it was kind of a shoulder-to-shoulder, but Riley being aggressive. You got to go after every loose ball. You can't really have any lazy passes against Johnston. That's just the type of the team they are. They're going to fight for every loose ball.
And it looks like Northwest might go a little 5 out here as Moss checks out. Cameron Vogt, tallest player now in the lineup at 5'9" for Northwest. I expect to probably see a little bit of high-low looks between her and Ashley Brown. As Vogt looking to post up. Hasn't seen much time at the center spot this year. Like I mentioned, more of a 3-and-D type of wing. But Northwest, not a lot of size, has to make do with what they can.
I feel like there just isn't a lot of size in the CIML this year. Maybe it's just me, but you know, that's one of the things I worry when they get to state. Waterloo West has size, you know, and they're the other good team out here in the state to take to the basket.
Kayla Madison having herself a great first quarter. 8 points, hit a couple of threes, and then takes this one to the hole. Already right around her season average as she tries to keep Northwest in this one, down just 3. Applying some hard defense here on Riley, and Barnes comes in for the steal to get it back for Northwest.
I love the Northwest bench's energy on defense, you know, trying to get their hands up, play good defense against one of the better defensive teams in the state.
Brown here with it at the top of the key. 2-second difference to the shot and game clock, so Northwest can hold it potentially for the final shot. Madison will get it right up near the center court marker. Get it over to Barnes. 15 seconds remaining here in the quarter. As Vogt gets it into Brown. Brown turns, looks to go, looks for the reverse layup, can't get it to go, but Vogt, offensive rebound, but blocked. Tanky trying to throw it ahead, and there's going to be a layup opportunity, and converted by Balsley at the buzzer. It gives Johnston the 5-point lead as we go into the second quarter. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with the second quarter here on CISN.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Both teams coming back out onto the floor. Johnston, the 5-point lead after the Isabella Bosley layup at the buzzer to extend their lead to double scores. Tyler Fudge and Blake Walker coming to you live here on CISN TV. CIML matchup between number 1 Johnston and number 9 Northwest. An exciting first quarter of action. Kayla Madison getting it done for Northwest. And now we'll see where they can go offensively with her on the bench to begin the second quarter.
I mean, it's a simple basketball thing. If you can put the ball in the basket, you might be doing a little bit better. Northwest is getting good looks. Just can't quite find it.
Avery Vogt, a little bit of a wild attempt going to that left side. Can't get it to fall. And Johnston coming back quick in the corner. Tanky lines up the three. Can't get it to fall off the pass from Lewis. Good box out by Megan Lawns as it is number 24, Molly Nolk, picking up the foul.
That was a good call. Pretty much they were pulling each other back, and the official saw Nolk was the one that was grabbing a little bit too much. They'll give the ball back to Northwest. That just shows, I mean, both these teams know rebounding so important tonight.
Lawns, one of the senior captains, along with Nere Barnes for Northwest. Been an incredibly important player. She thought about lining up the three, ball fake, and gets her teammate open. Barnes launches the three off the back rim, no good. Moss goes for the rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball. Should stay here. No, it'll go back to Johnston as Northwest had possession to begin the quarter.
I mean, they're getting good looks. It's like we've said. I like that off screen. I mean, they're getting a lot of girls off screens. And that time, again, had another wide open look. You just got to make sure you can drop it. The good thing is for Northwest, they are rebounding better. Sadie Moss doing a great job down low.
Yeah, we mentioned she's got the height advantage.
Yeah,
down
she
low.
does.
Johnston has the team height. And unfortunately, for them, they've not been able to take advantage of that so far. But the nice part is they've not been allowing the second chance points. This one dribbled out as Hampton about got tied up. Hampton does bring a little bit of size at 6'1". On the drive in here, Riley's going to be fouled, and she'll go back to the free throw line.
I have to laugh. It feels like Hampton has been there for absolutely ever. I swear I remember when she was all the way back a freshman, you're like, oh my gosh, how has she not graduated yet? She's been so good for the Johnston program all her last 4 years. Very fun to watch.
So Riley back to the free throw line, 3-4 from the charity stripe today. Trying to expect Johnson's up to potentially 3 possessions if she can knock in both shots.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Northwest has been to the line tonight. So Johnson's taking advantage of the charity stripe, and that might be something you want to see Northwest start doing.
Kayla Madison returns to the game. She's got 8 of the Northwest 10 points, the other 2 to Sadie Moss. And those were 2 players we talked about were going to be pretty important today for the Wolves. Expect to see them a lot throughout tonight's game. Riley knocks in both free throws. Came in shooting 61%, but she is 5 of 6 here tonight so far.
It's tough when you're a good player start hitting shots.
Moss looking to try and post up. They're looking to front her a little bit in the post with some help side defense. Moss catches at the top of the key, and Vogt trying to work in the post as well. Post not the strongest position for Vogt, and this one it is Hampton trying to come around and tip it away, and it's going to be another jump ball. It'll stay here with Northwest.
I think Hampton started to figure out what Northwest trying to do on offense. That time she was able to jump that pass. Couldn't quite get it back, but I think Northwest starting to be figured out just a little bit more by Johnston as we go on.
And Hampton with her height makes that over-the-top pass that much more difficult. Vogt looking to drive and put a shot up. And it's going to be blocked. Lewis comes up with the block and the rebound as time expires on the shot clock. Coming back the other way. Hampton in transition lays it in. And it's going to be a timeout from Northwest. Johnston extending their lead up to 9. Their largest of the game. They'll take a timeout. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll take one as well. We'll be right back here on CISN.
Certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond Certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondFord.com.
We're back here on CISN. Johnston going on a little bit of a run, 6 straight for them. After that layup by Kayla Madison late in the first quarter, Johnston had the layup to end the first. The 2 free throws by Riley, and now the layup by Hampton in transition. And now they're looking to gain control of this one. A 9-point lead, largest of the game, and Northwest struggling on the offensive end.
It's, he's struggling on the offensive end, can't quite grab the rebound, and a couple of errant passes. And you got to get back. I mean, if Johnston sees an opportunity, I will say Northwest defensively better in the half-court set, as is a lot of teams, but got to hurry up.
Moss going a little bit of coast-to-coast, stops, pops, puts a shot up, and can't get it to fall. Lawns was trying to hit the offensive glass along with Moss, but Lewis brought in the rebound. Hampton coming back the other way. Handles the ball pretty well for a 6'1 center as Lewis lines up the 3, rattles around, but can't get it to fall. Moss brings in her 7th board.
That's a rare miss. I mean, she just doesn't miss ones like that, and it almost rallied in. Northwest got to be careful there, and that's one thing Coach Guest said when they came down the floor. You got to watch the ball.
Vandercroll here with it on the near side. Moss pops up to the top of the key. Hampton playing off or making her look to take that shot once again. Hampton trying to get that front foot and hand out in front of Moss. Moss will step back on this shot. Nice pass from Avery Vogt, and she was able to step back and hit that jumper.
And she was calling for it. I mean, I think, you can't let her be the only post points so far.
Tanky fading away, puts a shot up, no good. Offensive rebound right there, brought in by Nolk and taken away by Moss.
She's doing everything tonight. I mean, you got to see who else is going to step up here for Northwest.
Vogt puts the shot up and gets the foul as it looked like Hampton was a little too far under the basket trying to draw on the charge. The freshman kind of just threw the ball up, but you know what? When it goes through the hoop, you take what you can get.
Yeah, and, in high school we don't have the rule where, you have the box where you can't take a charge, but either way, she kind of stopped a little too quick. She was leaning just a little bit. Good call by the official.
First points for Northwest in over 4 minutes of action. As we're approaching the halfway point here in the second quarter, Vogt knocks in the free throw as well. Defense leading to offense after the steal by Moss on the other side.
Well, and it's big because it's the first scorer not with the last name Moss or Madison. So if you can start spreading the ball around, I mean, for instance, Johnston has 5 girls in the scoring column. Northwest now just has 3.
Ball caught up by Lewis over on the far side, trying to get it down low, but the pass out in front of Tanky, and she can't get to it.
It's Sadie Moss again. I mean, that time she was caught up. Tanky was trying to make sure she was boxing out Moss and able to get a chance to go down low. Sadie's working real hard tonight. It's showing on both ends.
Blanchard will check in, replacing Hampton out there on the floor, maybe giving a little bit more speed at the center spot, trying to work around Moss. Moss, a player that will run the floor well, especially for a big. Moss will catch it at the top key, looking down low for Brown. Brown couldn't get the first look, but she's able to bring in the rebound, kicks it out for Madison. Madison lines up another 3. This one off the back of the rim, no good. Brown, a lot of energy off the bench tonight as she tried to bring in another board.
Well, sometimes when you're on the bench, it almost gives you a little bit more, something to play for.
Riley faked the pass. Defense didn't react, but they didn't close out on her, and she buries it. She's the first player for either team in double figures. Lead back up to 7 for Johnston.
Boy, she didn't get a ton of room, and she still made that shot. Got to play up.
Just shows the depth that this Johnston team has, especially at the top of their scoring column. Moss will pop out looking for the ball. One hard dribble given off to Brown. Brown will come back to reset the offense. 12 seconds on the shot clock. As ball thrown to Vanderkroll on the far wing. Vanderkroll looking to attack off the dribble. Brown lines up the 3. It's an air ball. They didn't reset, or they reset the shot clock. Madison on the kick out. I don't think Johnston was too happy with that call, as that ball did not touch the rim, and they're going to call a timeout on the floor.
I tell you what, I mean, they're playing great. I know it seems weird, but defensively, I feel like you're playing well, and this is about as good as you can get against a really talented Johnston team. It feels like day and night from when they played them back in February at the end of the month. But, I mean, I like what Northwest is doing. If they could just start hitting shots, I mean, this game becomes a whole different ball game. And I think Johnston, they know that. They're like, hey, we're giving them too many opportunities. Got to take better advantage on offense for Johnston.
Yeah, Johnston, if they take away Kayla Madison, Northwest doesn't really have an answer right now because of the height down low, with Hampton and Blanchard kind of cycling in, guarding Sadie Moss, that if she's not getting the ball in open shots, this team is struggling to put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, I mean, 4 points, not bad. If you could get a little bit of a run going here before the half, which they have been able to put one together. And they're keeping Jenica Lewis quiet this quarter. That's definitely another big one.
And it looked like Johnston was set to kind of run away with this. They went up 9. Northwest was on a scoring hiatus, but they've gone on an 8-3 run since to get back in it. As Blanchard gets it over to Riley, just hit that 3 last time down. She'll line up another one and hits it. Lead back up to 7, answering Madison's 3 with one of her own. Give her 13 tonight.
Too many weapons. I mean, just every single night. It doesn't matter. One person could be off and another girl steps up. Johnston, just everybody on the floor pretty much can have a big night. That's what makes Johnston so hard to beat. That's why they haven't lost in almost 2 years.
Ballsy will check into the next dead ball for Johnston, another player that can provide some offense off the bench. On the far side, Vanna Billick had just checked in for Northwest as well out of the timeout. Brown looking to push hard. If she'd gone to the rim, she had created the space she needed.
I think she had a chance.
Madison steps to her right, puts the shot up, no good. Rebounded by Blanche. A little bit of a heat check there, but had to get a shot off with the shot clock running down. Under 3 remaining here in the first half. Johnson still up 7, 25-18. This 3 lined up and missed. And Barnes had it for a second, but it was tipped away. Beautiful pass down low and blocked from behind by Billick coming in to knock it away.
One of the biggest things, Northwest did a big no-no. You went under a screen at the top of the key against Johnston. You always got to try your best to go over top of the screen. If you go under, it just gives Johnston a huge opportunity to make a long shot.
These two teams really polar opposites. Johnson, a team that really likes to play from outside in, while Northwest, a lot of their offense runs through Sadie Moss, and we've seen that here tonight. Yes, 11 of the points have come from Kayla Madison, but several of those have been inside-out looks that have opened up shots.
Which, I mean, and we saw earlier, Brown goes down low, and we're like, you probably could have taken that shot, but nonetheless, she tries to free somebody up from the outside. And again, if you're making those shots, that offense becomes really nice to rely on.
Barnes gets it back over to Madison. Moss looking to post up down low, but good front work by Blanchard and some help side defense taking away that passing lane. Brown with the ball up top. 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Trying to get it down low to Moss. Tipped away by Blanchard. Moss doing a good job trying to establish position, but Blanchard's been working her hard. And they'll bring a little bit more height into the game as Hampton returns, replacing the freshman Jenica Lewis.
Yeah, when Hampton and Tanky are on the floor, that's a tough 1-2 punch for Sadie Moss.
Moss pops, catches, and can't get the shot to fall. Tanky brings in the rebound. And then you also add in Blanchard there. That's a lot of size at your 3 through 5 spots.
That is.
And Tanky at 5'11", the ability to handle the ball, step out and shoot. Very versatile weapon for this Johnson team. Riley getting in, fading away. Shot doesn't fall. Vanderkool brings in the board. Vanderkool bring it across half court. A little bit of a crossover, but gets it over to Brown after picking up the dribble. I think that's also somewhere where Northwest kind of struggles. They don't have a lot of dribble penetration on this team. They're a good passing team.
Yeah.
But if it's not Madison, no one's really able to dribble out. Barnes lines up the 3 off the pass from Moss after the double team, but she can't get it to fall. Tanky with the board and will look to bring it in the flow of the offense.
Well, and Sadie Moss, I mean, she's been the backbone of the offense so far. She was a little frustrated there. She just wants the ball down low. If she has an advantage, she's going to take it. At times, she just called for the ball, couldn't get it to her.
Vanderkool puts up the 3 and buries it off the assist from Neray Barnes. That's a big shot there, getting it back to 4 with a minute remaining here in this first half.
Just hanging around. I mean, it just feels weird. I don't know. The score just doesn't reflect how I think this game would be going.
And good defense here from Madison. Drops the 5-second call. Lons and Vogt checking back in. And Northwest an opportunity now to cut it to 1 possession as we get into the last 50 seconds here of the quarter.
Snag a 2 for 1 here if you can. If you're Northwest, it'd be big going into the break. Got to keep things rolling here on offense, though.
Madison brings it into the half court. Vogt catching it in the corner. Moss trying to pop loose down low, but they can't get to the ball. This time she'll catch it in the mid-paint. Turns to her left, can't get it to fall. Rebound brought in eventually by Tanky. And now, with about a second difference, Johnson can hold if they want.
I mean, good luck. I feel like you got to keep going back to it. And I know Sadie might not like her SAP numbers tonight with their shooting percentage, but got to keep shooting. You're getting advantages when they count.
As Riley guarded close again by Madison, able to avoid another 5-second call, down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Balsley going in, has it blocked by Moss, her 3rd block of the night.
They've struggled with getting past Johnston on screens. That time they were able to rotate over. Moss was ready. Just got to hang in tight here. Their perimeter defense have been pretty good, minus give or take a couple threes Johnston's given up.
Johnston will go back to the starting lineup as Nolk and Lewis return to action. one of the few teams that really has their center take the ball out of bounds underneath the basket. Usually that's the point guard's responsibility. They look to go down low, right back to Hampton. She puts a layup up and good. So Johnston hits buzzer beaters in both the first and second quarter, build their lead back up to 6, but Northwest hanging strong as they look to battle back as we begin the second half here in a couple of minutes. We'll take a short break and be right back here on CISN.
For 75 years, Holt Service Trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Mornings. They can be hectic.
Let's go!
So can your car. So to get a free pickup, drop-off, or delivery, head over to Honest Wrenches. And their loaner vehicles?
No extra charge.
Find your peace of mind with even more wonderful services.
Every vehicle that comes in gets a full visual inspection and a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty. No extra charge.
Head on over to Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western. More jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
DeArmond certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond Certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondAuto.com.
The dance team performing here at halftime, and what a show it's been overall tonight as Johnston doing their normal stuff as they will take it to every team they play. It's been a great game so far for Aaliyah Riley, 13 points in the first half, but Northwest hanging tough thanks to the great shooting from Kayla Madison.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really solid. And, you know, with the type of play that she's had, you know, you got 11 points, that's big. But, you know, she's making the shots. She hasn't really missed a ton tonight. She's getting wide open looks. That's the key to this game. And, you know, to only be down by 6 at half, or 6 at the break, I mean, that's pretty good against a very talented Johnston team like this.
And Northwest led by those 11 points from Kayla Madison, but Sadie Moss has been the player of the game for them so far, hitting the glass with 8 rebounds in the first half. Maybe only has 4 points, but their offense has been generated because she's been able to attack.
Yeah, she has. I mean, Sadie's been big rebounding on the glass. I mean, and offensively. I know she's struggling just a little bit, you know, getting the shots up. But the fact that she's calling for the ball, she knows, like, I can make this shot. I can do what I got to do. Her confidence is just abundant, and that's what's keeping them close here tonight.
And Moss not just getting it done on the offensive glass, but the defensive side is where Northwest talked at length today. The Northwest defense had to be strong today.
Yep.
She's been getting after with a couple of blocks, steals. On the other side, Johnson's been just as strong, though, and boxing out well has been a big thing for them.
And it feels like the score should be bigger. And maybe it's just me, but, you know, Johnson's had a lot of open looks. A couple threes just haven't gone their way. But, yes, they're still rebounding phenomenally. And, you know, Northwest, that's something they can figure out. But Johnston, when they're not in transition, the half-court set has caused a couple problems. I mean, they just kind of get caught at the perimeter. Northwest has done a great job keeping their hands up. staying handsy on defense. And you never know. That might be a stamina thing. Sadie Moss played almost every single minute there for a little bit. Does that change any? How long can you keep that up? That's something to watch for tonight.
Yeah, one of the big things is that we saw early in the game, Johnston was making a living getting to the rim. They had a couple big plays from Jenica Lewis as well as Riley that they were able just to get to the basket without much resistance from the defense. A nice, I don't know what Coach Guest came up with, what their strategy change was, but that defense really solidified in that second quarter, holding Johnston just 8 points in the quarter.
There's not a lot of room to breathe. Riley, despite making a couple threes, she's stuck out here. They got a 5-second call. You don't see that a lot. Just if you're right up against him, you just don't let them breathe and keep those arms out. They're usually not going to call a foul, and if they are, it's on the offense because they're trying to bump you out of the way. Couple legal screens in there, but I think that's the biggest thing for Northwest. Got to learn to guard off the screens because that's how Johnston's grabbing those points. A lot of pick and roll. It's not just pick, stay, and go. It's pick and roll, and Johnston's done a great job with that. Waukee Northwest tightened up a little bit better there in the second quarter.
And you've seen that defense kind of just stop at the three-point line. They got to extend out. Aaliyah Riley hit back-to-back threes, and she's the type of player you can't leave open with that 44% mark from downtown.
It's unbelievable. It's just between her and Jenica Lewis, you cannot miss. You have to make sure you're there. You got to make sure you're guarding them close. And I know it's hard to play, hands up, in-your-face defense the entire time.
It's had a little bit of a quiet game so far. The team's leading scorer just under 16 a game, and the top three-point shooter on the team at 46%.
They're not going down low to her a ton. I think Northwest has figured out let's guard her. What worried me is that Hampton had a very easy look there at the end of the half, and I think they maybe started to figure something out like, okay, this is pretty easy. I can just go down here and make a shot. That's something I'd be a little concerned about if I'm Northwest. But, yeah, if you're keeping Tanky in check, maybe you get a little bit more contact on Hampton. And also Northwest got to get to the line. They only got to the line, I think, once in that first half. I know you don't want to go up there and, get in the weeds, as they'd say, down below the basket, but you got to at least try to go to the line a little bit more. Give yourself a chance at the charity stripe.
Yeah, that one free throw coming out of the hands of the freshman Vogt, and that was just because she got fouled in transition, kind of just threw the ball up. Otherwise, would have just been a normal blocking foul with no shot. But we'll take another short break, be back with some second half expectations for both teams, and take a look at what both teams need to do to pull out the victory here tonight. You're watching CIML Basketball on CISN.TV.
75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
DeArmond certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond Certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondFord.com.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Both teams back out on the floor as we're about a minute away from the beginning of the second half. Johnston with the lead, 27-21. it was a good back-and-forth battle between two of the point guards, with Kayla Madison going for 11 and Alea Riley going for 13 in that first half. And the big thing is, who is going to be that other player to help set up? Madison, already above her season average. Can't expect a lot more from her because those shots are probably not going to continue to hit based on her average.
Yeah, and you and I were talking about it. I think Josie Vanderkroll, I mean, she hit that 3. That was a big one. Vote down low. I mean, she had the and one. If she can take a couple more high percentage shots, I think she might be one to watch as well. I just think there's a lot of different things. One thing that Northwest was really good at, Jenica Lewis did not score in the second quarter. That made a big, big, big difference. Got to keep her off the scoring chart once again here in the third. And I got to think you got to get this thing within at least a possession and or tie if you want a chance in the fourth quarter. This Johnston team plays every single minute of these basketball games. They're going to be tough to beat.
And the depth of this team shows has been a huge thing. Of their, 5 players that scored in that first half, 4 of them in the starting lineup, and some solid play as well. Isabel Bailey hitting that layup at the end of the first quarter. But this team has the depth defensively and has the shooters that even if they get a little tired, someone's going to be rested enough to be able to put up a shot at the end.
It's tough. I mean, there's a reason why you win so many games. Johnston has the depth. They got the poise. I mean, they've won 35-plus games in a row. But you got a target on your back. Everyone's going to give you your toughest battle. We'll see how Northwest transitions here in the third.
One of the most underrated things between these two teams, a matchup of two of the best coaches in the state, with Coach Gillick and Coach Guess, is a steal here for Megan Lawns to open up. Vanderkroll will slow things down, get into the half-court set. As the student section finally starting to fill out for Northwest. Might be a red, white, and blue theme here tonight.
I think it might, actually. I was wondering why the Kansas City Chiefs jersey showed up.
Moss down low, fights the double team, misses the first one, goes back up, converts, and the foul! Follows her shot, gets her 9th board of the game, and she'll go to the free throw line trying to make this a one-possession contest.
We wondered what she had to do, and that might be it right there. Sadie Moss, good take to the basket. I mean, everybody just kind of stood and watched for Johnston.
Moss, 63% from the line on the season. Can't get the shot to fall. Lawns fighting for the rebound, but can't come down with it. Lewis pushing the action back the other way. Finds a cutting player underneath. That's Knoll with the layup, her first basket.
Johnston's tough in transition. I mean, they are one of the best transition teams in the CIML. We saw that in the first half.
And we can see with their 1 through 4, everyone able to handle the ball, drive, attack, and step out and shoot a little bit as well. Vogt with it on the far side, goes with that right hand, comes around the screen from Moss, picks up her dribble. Moss trying to fight for it in the high post, will pop out and catch it on the wing and give it off to Madison. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Madison attacking off the dribble, gets it back to Moss, who puts up the long 2 and hits it.
Boy, if she starts hitting, I mean, things get interesting.
Second assist of the game for Madison. Tanky trying to drive in, and on the gather gets fouled, and they'll give her continuation, and she'll go to the free throw line on the reach in.
Well, I mean, she was kind of quiet there in the first half. We wondered when she would show up. She's only got 3, but, go to the line. Again, Johnston got to the line a lot more than Northwest did. Looks like the Dragons going to go right back to that.
Hey, the one thing, though, Northwest has already been to the line as many times as they did in the first half.
There you go.
Chloe Hayes will check in for the first time, replacing Vogt, give him a little bit more size and height out there. Foul went against Vogt. That was her second. Both free throws are good for Johnston, so the team exchanging 2-pointers. Here, the lead remaining at 6. Hayes will get it over to Vanderkroll, now to Madison up top. Let's see if they try to extend that defense out a little bit on Madison as well, so she hit 3 threes in the first half. Hayes looking to go high-low, but Moss gets pushed out by Hampton. And outside defense there, cutting by Riley, cutting across. A better pass if they'd hit Madison. She was wide open for another 3-point attempt. Madison cuts and kicks it to Hayes in the corner. Hayes fires up a wild 3. It's an air ball rebounded by Riley. And Riley's smart, able to get the pass off before getting called for a travel. Hampton gets over to Lewis. Lewis spots up and hits the 3. You knew she was only going to stay quiet for so long. Lead back up to 9, tied for the largest of the game.
That's 5 points in transition so far by Johnston.
Bad pass by Hayes, has not looked good here in the couple minutes since she checked in. Air ball and now a turnover. This time probably would have gotten beat off the dribble, but Hampton dribbles it off her own foot for the turnover.
Well, and, off misses, I think that was another thing. Off misses in the first half, Johnston just didn't push the ball, and I think that was another thing they wanted. Like, hey, just move the basketball. We have them beat in transition. We're starting to see that here in the third quarter.
Vanderkroll catches in the corner. Moss pops across. They get it over to Lawns. Lawns, the team leader in three-point percentage, but this one is an air bank. Hit nothing but the backboard. They'll push in transition, coming back. Riley going to the rim. Can't get the shot to fall, but is fouled by Madison. He'll go back to the free throw line where she was 5 of 6 in the first half.
I think Johnston has figured out what they want to do here. I mean, they're starting to move the basketball down the floor, getting down the floor before Northwest can, and using their speed to their advantage.
Riley, the 5'8 junior, 13 points in the first half. Will go back to the free throw line, trying to push the lead at double digits for the first time tonight.
Hurt her hand a little bit when she was going up for the basket. Just kind of shaking it off here.
2 attempts from the charity stripe. Northwest, their second foul of the second half, as the first one left short. Foul was called on Madison, her second as well. No real foul trouble for either team, but Madison, Vanderkroll, and Vogt all with 2 so far.
Yeah, I don't think anybody reached the bonus there in the first half.
Riley's going to check out after knocking in the free throw. Balsley returns. And they'll apply a little bit of full court press. Balsley, an athletic guard, able to give them a little bit of defense out there as well. Doesn't have to expend nearly as much offensive energy. Madison attacking off the dribble, gets it over to Lawns, but a bad pass on the bounce pass that's short hopped.
Yeah, twice we've seen that here in this quarter. Northwest just not great passing. If he could have set up 2 easy threes.
Hayes trying to drive in, and it's going to be a jump ball. Gets tied up.
She had a chance. I mean, there was a wide open Megan Lawns right there coming off the screen, which Northwest doing better. I think coming off screens, they're getting open looks. Northwest got to make a good pass, got to make a good look.
Nore Barnes checking in, replacing Lawns on the floor. Vanderkroll catches it off of the screen down low. They get it to Moss. She goes up, can't get the first one, but falls or missed. And she's got a double-double now, give her 10 and 10. I think she's just padding her own stat line here tonight.
Fell right back into her lap.
Tanky fakes the pass and hits the 3 coming back.
You were wondering when she was going to show up. Now she is. Johnston trying to pull away here.
Hayes with the ball near the high post, goes up. Moss is fouled from behind. They're going to call it on Hampton. Looked pretty clean, but she's going to go to the free throw line.
When she calls for the ball, you got to trust Sadie. I mean, when she calls for it, she knows she has something. It might not look like it, but when she's called for it and she's gotten it, she's usually been able to grab some points.
And the exciting thing with Sadie Moss, a lot of growth that we saw going into her sophomore year last year, a part of that state championship team as a freshman as she knocks in the first free throw. Established herself as a great defensive player. Wasn't a player you could go for offense. She gave you 8 to 10 a night. But Sadie Moss now is kind of transitioning into that focal point offensively while also being a defensive stud. If some coach gives her a chance, no matter what level it's at, they're going to be very happy as she has shown growth year after year.
She's got 10. I mean, it's just been really solid. They'll take a timeout here.
There'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Northwest trying to hang around, down 9.
Doesn't that feel like what a lot of teams try to do with Johnston all this year? You know, let's just hang around. If we can hang around, we'll be just fine. This is a Northwest team that averages about 40 points per contest, and you know when they lose, they only pretty much score 30. It feels like, but tonight I feel like we've seen an improved Northwest team that's starting to figure a couple things out. Obviously, you're playing the number 1 team in the state. You're going to give it the best, but you know you got some big games ahead if you're Northwest. Look at Waukee next week. You beat Waukee earlier. The Warriors are starting to get hot. They just upset Southeast Polk on the road. And by the road, I mean here in Waukee Northwest. But you know they're getting better. I think Northwest should be a tough out. Whoever gets them in the postseason.
And Northwest, we've seen these players continue to grow throughout the year. Ashley Brown, last couple games, showed a little bit of regression. She lost her starting spot tonight, and we got to see her. She's probably the best candidate along with Kayla Madison as a player that can attack off the dribble for this offense, and that is the biggest factor this team is missing. They can rebound well with Sadie Moss down low. As the freshman, Jenica Lewis will go to the free throw line once again as she's fouled. But, you know, they can shoot the ball a little bit. They've got enough guards out there that they can play 4 out, 1 in. But they've got to have someone that can attack off the dribble. That's what this offense is lacking the most. First one rims in and out for Lewis.
You talk about Jenica Lewis. I mean, offered from, it feels like, every single school as a middle schooler. We saw her playing in AAU basketball, travel ball. The pressure that it takes to finally get here to high school, and everyone's like, all right, how good is she? Is she the girl that we all think she is? And she has just lived up to it, and just a freshman. I mean, it's got to be scary for anybody to look on that chart and see that she has a couple more years left.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that she might be the next generation's version of Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
But I think she might be a more complete player at this point than we saw from Caitlin. Caitlin's always been an offensive guru. But Jenica Lewis, she's a player that's going to set her teammates up and plays good defense. And there's going to be a blocking foul here called against Barnes, and Lewis is going to go back to the line again.
Well, and Lewis, good athletic family. I mean, her older brother Trey led Johnston really well last year. I think, it's just one of those things that, you're a good basketball player. You're taught from good people. She's taken a little bit of a beating tonight. She's had a couple tough fouls, but she's hanging in tight.
First free throw is good for Lewis. She's into double figures. Just over halfway through this third quarter, Johnston lead back up to 11, trying to extend it to the largest of the night. And Lewis only going to get better. Only about 14, 15 years old. A lot of upside for this young player, and they're going to make some coach very happy here in a couple years.
And we get to see, this Johnston team is going to make it to the state tournament. How will she perform in those type of circumstances? But right now, I don't think we see any difference from the freshman.
Brown passes it over to the far side for Madison. Look to attack on the baseline. Can't get the layup to fall. Moss goes up for the board. It's going to be another jump ball. She's been holding tough, but Tanky and Hampton starting to kind of hold with her a little bit on the boards.
Yeah, both of them have just been very solid here in this third quarter, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And like I said, Johnston, they may slip up for about 3 minutes max, and then they'll start to figure things back out. Such a dangerous team.
And Lewis coming right back. She's been the focal point offense the last 2 possessions. Off the spin move, can't get the shot to fall, but follows her own miss. They'll be kicked back out. Three-pointer put up and miss, but another outboard by Balsley, and she's going to be fouled on the floor. 15th foul against Northwest as they've been racking up the foul calls over the last couple possessions.
It could be a frustration thing, and with Lewis, like we said, she's so good at drawing contact. Again, maybe could have been another foul there, but you're at this point, you just don't want to give up any points. You don't want to give up any rebounds. It kind of forces you to make decisions you don't want to make and really go after the ball.
Vandergrill steps in front of the pass, comes away with the steal. Trying to push it hard, come back the other way in the corner to Brown. Brown tacks in the middle of the paint, back out to Barnes. Barnes fires up the three, off the side of the rim, no good. And it'll come back Johnston's way as Lewis hauls in the board. Lewis, a triple threat out there tonight. Second on the team in assists this season, leads the team in blocks, and one of the top scorers as well. And this team's going to be extremely dangerous going into next year as well. Tanky, just a junior, as well as Riley in that junior class. This is going to be a team that's going to be set up for years to come, as well as Lewis continuing to go off here in the quarter. Lead up to the largest of the game at 15 with 2:29 remaining in the third quarter, and Northwest struggling to get going.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see if you're a Johnston fan. It's great. You're young, and boy, you have another chance. You can win another championship, but the possibility of a three-peat is definitely up there. I know we haven't even seen a second one here for Johnston, but the talent that these girls have, it's up there.
Brown going to work down low, gets double teamed into the corner. Now back out to Madison, who fires a three, and she is still scoreless here in the second half after 11 in the first half. Travel call here against Balsley. Good defense from Barnes, and the Wolves will bring Lons and Vogt back into the game.
It's crazy because we see Northwest shoot so many threes, but coming into tonight, despite playing 3 more games, Northwest still shot more than 100 more threes than Northwest did. Johnston just makes a couple bit more, but you got to think the Wolves eventually you're going to start hitting them. If you just take enough of them.
Nice high pass from Vogt there, right where Moss could get to it. It was Tanky trying to work around to get the steal, but she was unable to. And Moss with another layup. She's got 12 and 10 here so far tonight. Vogt comes up with a steal as Northwest trying to get back in this.
Sadie's also the only one who scored this quarter.
Lons fires the three and hits it. 43% from downtown on the season. 1 for 2 tonight as she knocks in that one. The lead back down to 10.
That's a huge shot. I mean, it's tough when it's a double-digit deficit, and I know it still is, but more than a double-digit. Oh, my goodness.
Lewis answers immediately, though. Jenica Lewis is on a tear.
You know, I didn't want to buy into when you said Caitlin Clark. I'm like, you know, she's just a freshman, but that type of play, that's the type of play that Caitlin Clark makes. Just a freshman, man. Unbelievable.
Gave her 12 here in the quarter. 17 total for the game. Riley comes up with a steal as Brown was trying to Euro step down low. Tanky goes to the rim and converts.
Got lucky there wasn't a foul call. Came right across her arm. Now Johnston's playmaker starting to step up here.
Leah Riley had the big first half with 13. Only one here in the quarter. But Tanky and Lewis have been picking up where she left off.
22 points this quarter for Johnston in total, after scoring just 27 in the first half. So Dragons are starting to get things figured out. Once again, Moss, asking for the ball down low. Just a junior, but, Sadie recognizes when she has an opportunity to take the ball to the basket.
Moss, the potential to be one of the better centers in the state. I would argue probably already one of the better ones, but had a chance to take it to the next level here in the next year and a half for her. And excited to see how she continues to grow. But they've got to find a way to get some offensive growth around her as well. The defense is going to be great continuing when you bring back players like Josie Vanderkroll and Sadie Moss. Those two were fantastic in and out pair. Defensively last year, they've grown even more this year as we see Vanderkroll forcing Ballsy to pick up the dribble and still applying good pressure. And gets another 5-second call.
I was waiting for it. I was surprised there wasn't. But, I mean, you talk about growth and everything else, but we also don't talk about enough. We got a 30-second timeout. We also don't talk about it enough, the amount of transfers these schools get every single year. You could be looking, well, here's what we got next year. Well, then another girl could step in from another school, and she jumps in, and then you're like, okay, now we got to change things around a little bit. We can look at a stat, or we can look at a roster and say, okay, they're going to be here for such and such years. But you got to kind of step back and you're like, well, you never know, especially here at the bigger schools. Somebody could move. Somebody could say, all right, I'm going to go play somewhere else. Just kind of one of those things that you got to keep up with.
Northwest, the benefit of that this year, Kayla Madison, the number 2 scorer last year for the Roosevelt Rough Riders team that made it to the state tournament, and a team that surprised some people last year, had a chance to actually make it to the state championship before getting beat by Valley.
If they didn't play Valley in the first round, they probably would have won the first round contest. I mean, they were one of the hottest teams in the state, and everybody kind of stepped back. I kind of wanted them to win because they had the best atmosphere I've ever seen. They literally gave tickets to every kid in the school and filled out the entire bottom section of Wells Fargo Arena. But that was a cool story to see the Des Moines Public Schools starting to get things going at the state tournament.
Mm-hmm. And it was kind of surprising to learn that Madison had transferred over here for a team, a team that had a chance to make it back to state, bringing back their 2 top players, to a Northwest team that lost a good chunk of their lineup from last year's team.
And, we won't speculate. You can't speculate. I mean, basketball's basketball. If you want to play, you want to play. If you want to have fun, you want to have fun. These are all these girls' decisions. And, at the end of the day, we all just love the game and just want to play it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Madison, she picked up her 3rd foul. Moss picks up her 4th block as Tanky felt a little bit of pressure and can't get the shot off down low. There's Moss. So it is a 15-point game going into the 4th quarter. Johnston outscoring Northwest by 9 in the 3rd. We'll take a break and be right back here with the start of the 4th on CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
Welcome back here to CISN as Northwest trailing 49-34 to the number 1 team in the state, Johnston. Winners of 35 plus in a row. The Northwest student section has been filling out as we've gone further along in this game. A big matchup coming up next as Johnston and Northwest will take it to the floor in boys basketball action. Northwest trying to bounce back from that loss to Valley on Tuesday, and Johnston trying to right the ship here in the second half of the season.
Yeah, 2 very good programs. I mean, last year they had very good contests. They've split that series in the last 2 times they've met. Johnston won the first time. Northwest won the second time. Price Sanford been on a tear as of late, as his brother, as is a lot of everybody. on that Northwest team. Yeah, how do you respond?
Moss finds herself wide open down low. Madison dribbles out of the double team and completes the pass. Moss now up to 14.
She's hardworking. I mean, just, that time you get caught up on the backside of the court and Moss gets left wide open.
Lewis looking to go off the dribble. 3 defenders come her way. Wave the shot off. She's fouled. I believe that is the 6th team foul. Nope, it is the 7th, so it'll be a 1-and-1. Now for Johnston. They'll be in the bonus for the continuation of today's contest. Jenica Lewis, 12 points in that third quarter, really came alive after not scoring in the second.
Yeah, we started to see what she can do. I mean, when she's on the floor and she's scoring, it makes a big difference, compared to the second quarter when she couldn't get anything to go.
Both free throws are good. Approaching that 20-point mark is the freshman, doubling up on her season average. Lead back up to 15 for Johnston, as they've kind of been in control since the beginning of the second half, as Lons is fouled from behind. I believe that'll go against Riley. Got her hand taped, and she went to the bench in the third quarter after taking that nasty fall.
Yeah, that might be something to keep an eye on, after how she's feeling. But, yeah, she took a tough hit on that foul. Got to be careful.
Madison gets it into Lons underneath. And Madison will pop up, catch the ball at the top of the key. Now reverse it back to Vanderkroll. Moss working, but they got a double team focusing on her. And I believe it's going to be an offensive foul here on a moving screen called against Lons.
I didn't think it was on the screen. I thought maybe somehow they got it against Vanderkroll as she was going to the basket. Lewis fell down. But
and it's actually called against Moss. That is her third, team 8th. Get some off-cutting action for Lewis. Up to 19 in the game. This one thrown over to Nolk. She puts a 3 up, no good. Good box up by Madison. She brings in her first board. Ball will be reversed around as Vogt finds Vanderkroll on the far side. Moss pops up top. Just a bunch of passing around the outside. No penetration on this possession so far. As about halfway through the clock, Vanderkroll puts a shot up, converts, and gets fouled. Vanderkroll showing a little bit of aggression there. Member of the Wolves soccer team as well, one of their top scorers in the 22 season. Misses a shot. Tanky brings in the rebound and able to tiptoe that line, avoid going out of bounds. Riley back the other way, over to Lewis. Lewis, deep three-pointer is buried. Jenica Lewis can't miss here in the second half.
She was backing up after she shot it.
This one tipped away and stolen by Nolk. Just 2 points tonight for Nolk. Her and Hampton combining for 6, but all 3 of the other starters in double figures as Tanky adds to her total with another 3.
This is the Johnston team that everybody's worried about. I mean, this is the team that if they get hot, they are so tough to beat. That's why they haven't lost in forever, it feels like.
Hampton jumps the passing lane. She'll drive in. She's fouled by Moss. That'll be number 4 on Sadie.
And the crazy thing is, if I remember correctly, back to that title game last time they lost, Waukee shot. It took Waukee shooting pretty much 75% from the floor. And Johnston shot like 50, if I remember. And they just got outshot, and you just don't see that anymore.
And that loss might have been a great learning experience for players like Tanky and Riley, just freshmen on that team. And both those Waukee teams just felt like teams of destiny after both losing the state championship the year before. It was going to be tough to beat a Katie Dinnebear-led girls team and Peyton Sanford and Tucker DeVries on the boys' side.
I don't think we talk enough about that Waukee boys team for just how good that team was and who was in that starting 5 and who was coming off the bench. Unbelievable.
Well, the big thing, too, is that team had 5 starters, 6'7" or taller.
Yeah.
And all of them could shoot.
Yeah.
I remember Wyatt Heston was one of the biggest guards I've ever seen play. Because the dude did not post up at all. He played defense and then would go back and spot up. And it would be him or Blake, I think it was Pappenberg. That was their other player that was in the starting lineup. It would be him or Heston as that 5th starter.
Well, and you talk about Northwest on the girls' side. Waukee girls win that state title, and then they split, and then a lot of the girls went to Waukee Northwest. And they're like, okay, here we go. They're going to repeat. Just haven't quite gotten that success back, but I feel like give it a couple of years, you'll see them right back. I think you'll see Waukee Northwest in a title game, on the girls' side at least, within the next 10 years. Might be on the boys' side this year.
Step into the three. Nolt can't get it to fall. Yeah, and I think one of the big things is that the school split, so you did lose a little bit of talent on both sides. Most of the players, like you mentioned, coming here. But the big thing is graduating 4 starters from that team. Megan Ernie, the Kelderman sisters, as well as Katie Dinnebeer, of course, now one of the stars for the Drake Bulldogs.
That's tough. I mean, that's everything. How many seniors do you have? How big is your senior class? It feels like, and maybe it's just me, I feel like the lineups get younger, if that makes any sense. The girls that are really good are really young, and they stick around for a couple years. It feels like this Waterloo West team out east. They've Hallie Pook and all these girls, very good. They've been there for a while, and now they're starting to see that come to a fruition.
Vanderkroll splits the free throws. She's got now up to 6 points for the evening. Riley working that right side. Nice crossover to get past Vanderkroll. Gets in the heart of the defense. Dumps it off to Hampton. Can't get the shot to fall. And rebound brought in by Vogt, who's buried under the basket. Has to get it off. And Northwest able to get it across. And Moss running the floor again. Riley gets that other arm extended out as she was falling away and gets the block.
I'm sure the hand injury has something to do with it, but Riley had 15 points in the first half. And now she only has 1 here in the second half. I haven't scored here in the fourth. Again, I assume it's probably the hand, but defensively it doesn't matter.
Vanderkroll in the corner, can't get the shot to fall. Lewis will come over, pick up the board. She's got 22 tonight. She'll bring it on the offensive end. About halfway through this fourth quarter, Johnston still up by 16. Northwest continuing to fight hard, and Johnston will use a timeout to keep possession. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take a break as well. You're watching Northwest versus Johnston on CISN.TV.
75 years, Holt Service Trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
We're back here on CISN. Johnston in control of this one, 59-43 as you see them here on the bench with Coach Gillick. It has been a great offensive second half for them, 22 points in that third quarter. Jenica Lewis, 17 here in the second half. She has gone off since having a slow start to today's game.
Yeah, and, only averaging 10 points per game tonight obviously will help that. It's scary because she's getting better every single game. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people just kind of forgotten about her. She was so good in middle school. A lot of people had, the target. They were like, this girl's going to be unbelievable when she gets here. And then, the beginning of this year, forget just a little bit. But once she gets going, as the season goes on, she's going to be tough.
Moss gets the steal, goes coast to coast and lays it in. She's had herself quite a game now. 18 to go, double-digit points, and her third steal and 4 blocks to her credit as well.
Yeah, it's just tons of heart. I mean, she's just fighting. She's working hard. She wants the ball in her hands every single possession because she deserves it. She's earned that right to touch the ball.
And we were talking about transfers. You got to wonder, does a team like Dowling try to come in and see if they can snag Sadie Moss will be going into her senior year this offseason? She's also a member of the track team and the volleyball teams here at Northwest, a state qualifier in track last year and part of that state tournament team volleyball crew in the starting lineup this season. As we finally see some rare tonight. That's a Jenica Lewis miss here in the second half.
You talk about Dowling Catholic. Boy, they're a weird team this year. I mean, I thought Ankeny Centennial was the clear number 2 here in the CIML, but then Dowling beats Centennial a couple nights ago, and you're like, all right, maybe I thought different. Dowling, got a win over Ankeny off a buzzer beater a couple weeks ago. That Dowling team, they're going to be tough here as we head toward the end of the season.
Madison hits the 3, but there's a foul away from the ball. Depending on who's that on, that could be detrimental to this comeback effort. It does go against number 4, Neray Barnes. A big breath of fresh air as they can't afford to lose Vanderkroll or Moss if they want to stage a late comeback down 14. Riley gets to the defense, can't get it to fall, and Moss hauls in another rebound.
Valley as well, 9-3 Valley. I think Valley, once Johnston and Valley play again, that'll be a really good team. Valley's surprising because, you lose Segrist, you lose Riker, but they've responded really well this year.
Vogt gets the steal, puts the layup up, and good. Lead now down to 12 with 3 remaining.
Starting to work a couple transition buckets, forcing a couple turnovers.
That's been the big thing for the Wolves all season. Their offense starts with defense. Not a lot of dribble penetration like we've mentioned a couple times here tonight. They've got to get out in transition to put some baskets up. Lewis puts a shot up, no good, but a blocking foul called against Vogt, and she'll go to the free throw line. That is number 3 against Avery Vogt. Some big foul trouble here late in the game. Moss with 4, Vanderkroll with 4, and both Vogt and Madison each with 3 for the Wolves. And now in the double bonus are the Dragons with a 12-point lead, 2:33 remaining.
She reminds me of James Hart. Good at gunning to the basket, drawing contact, good beyond the three-point line. And when you got her in isolation, you got to be careful because she is going to make some moves and get to the basket.
I don't think she would rock the beard as well, though. I think that's the big thing.
Improvement. I know, tonight losing here, Johnston, losing by 14, but I got to look at some improvement for Northwest. They lost the first time against this team 59-32. It was 59-47 there for a little bit. Northwest getting better. I feel like they have played Johnston better than a lot of teams have played Johnston this year.
And that was a completely different team a year ago with Reagan Bartholomew being the focal point offensively. They've transitioned more now to a post-heavy look with Moss. Vanderkroll, a lot of confidence in that shot, but can't get it to fall. And that's what I've loved to see from Vanderkroll. She didn't take a lot of shots at times last year. This year, she looks to get her own shot at times. And that's a big thing if this team wants to create more offensively. The sidestep here by Riley, no good. Rebound brought in. It's going to be another jump ball. Kind of a surprise there. It looked like Moss got clean possession before the whistle blew, but
Tanky must have had one hand in there.
And Northwest will get the ball either way, so they're not going to be upset. 2 minutes left in tonight's contest. Boys due up next here on CISN. The number 1 ranked Northwest Wolves coming off the loss to Valley in boys action on Tuesday night. High-low look trying to get it to Moss, and it's going to go out of bounds. Another turnover. Megan Lons will check in, and Avery Vogt will head to the bench. Very experienced lineup now in for Northwest, 3 seniors and 2 juniors. They have been starting a freshman, either Brown or Vogt, throughout the year. Riley will back dribble here a little bit, try to work the clock a little bit more with the 14-point lead. Vanderkroll outguarding her, giving off for Balsley. Balsley got the defender off her off the screen, and he'll get off to Tanky. Moss with her step for step. Hampton will pop up, get the ball, and it'll be a reach-in foul called against Lawns. That is just her first. Lawns just 3 points tonight, 1 for 2 from downtown, and she has not got a lot of opportunities on the offensive end.
No, not at all. Johnston, with tonight's win, you extend that winning streak. You're closing in on almost 40-plus wins in a row. And the crazy thing is, it's not like they're playing easy competition. Night in, night out, it's ranked opponents. With this win tonight, it's 6 straight wins over ranked opponents. It's just unbelievable the effort that this team puts in. They've had 2 close calls this year, Centennial in overtime and then Valley only by 3. But, they're just a hard-working group.
Hampton goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. She checks out. Blanchard returns to action. 1:21 remaining in the contest. Northwest has fought hard here tonight, but Johnston is going to come away with the victory. It's going to be a big stepping stone potentially for Northwest, as they'll probably fall out of the top 10 rankings again with another loss. Losers of 5 of their last 6, as this one fed down low. Sadie Moss with a 20-point game.
Yeah, a lot of people probably shocked. They're like, well, you're 4-6. What are you doing inside the top 10? Well, here's the thing. Their schedule's so tough. They kept Waukee in the top 15 for a while, and Waukee had only had like 3 or 4 wins as well. I still think Northwest, the rankings won't come out till next week, so, you get a win, you might see something different. But
down low shot put up by Blanchard. She is fouled by Lawns. That's her second. But it'll probably hang around, a 13, 15-point win for Johnston. That's got to be a great step for Northwest. Hang your head high a little bit, because I'm telling you this much, with the confidence this team has, the group has been playing together for a couple years now. This is not a team you want to play in the playoffs.
No, it isn't. I mean, just kind of feels like one of those dangerous teams. And we still got a lot of basketball left. I mean, you can go on a run here in February, and, I think a lot of people underestimate January, especially. It's almost the dog days of the basketball season. It's going to get tough. You got to play night in, night out. You're playing about 2 games a week. Sometimes you get some Saturday games. Got to stay up on top of things.
Nook checks back in for Johnston as they send their lead back up to 14. Barnes finds Madison in the far corner. Moss working down low. Big game tonight here as Wands misses the free throw, but I was just about to talk about her. Sadie Moss, her 12th rebound. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. Now give her almost 22 as that one rimmed out on her. And that should do it here tonight for the final possession as Ballsy looking to get it across half court. Johnston 63, Northwest 49. Northwest will drop their 5th game in the last 6. Johnston remains undefeated, moves to 14-0. Northwest now 4-7. But a lot of positive notes from this game for the Wolves as they look to right the ship going into further part of the second half of the season. Still 10 games remaining on their schedule.
Yeah, and there's a lot of positives. I mean, a loss stinks. It's not fun to lose. But tonight, progress in the right direction. For Johnston, nothing changed. Maybe a couple things in the first half you can improve on, but overall, the Dragons still look good, still looking for a possible back-to-back state championship here in a couple months.
Jenica Lewis leading the way with 24 tonight. Not to be outdone, Sadie Moss on the other side at 20 points, 12 boards, 4 blocks, and 3 steals. Did everything she could to keep Northwest in this game. A player that's going to be fun to watch as she gets older, as well as Jenica Lewis, just the freshman, coming out on top here tonight, as well as 13 tonight for Allie Tankey, 15-plus for Aaliyah Riley. On the other side, Kiela Madison, 11 points in the first half, held scoreless in the second half, though, was a big reason that Northwest was able to hang with it, keeping it single digits in the first half of action. Excited to see where these teams go from here, as we're just about halfway through this CIML season, and boys action due up next. We'll take a break and be back with coverage of the second half of doubleheader action here on CISN.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional-grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western. More jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore. 109th and Douglas in Urbandale, just west of Homing.
Johnston picked up the first half of doubleheader action. Now the Wolves trying to get revenge in boys basketball. The Wolves coming off their first loss of the season as they fell to Valley this past Tuesday. And now Northwest trying to right the ship their own right as they started the year undefeated, but picking up that loss couldn't necessarily be a bad thing for this team as it gives them extra motivation going into the second half of the year.
Yeah, it was almost, they played a couple close games within there, that big win over Waukee, but you're kind of wondering, when's that night going to happen? Usually it always happens. Someone's going to slip up. I think Valley got Northwest on a bad night. It's tough. A Tuesday night on the road, that's a tough place to play when Valley's full. And, the Tigers got the best of them, get a good win. For Northwest, it's like you said, might have been the best thing that's ever happened to them because once you lose, you're vulnerable. I mean, you could lose a basketball game. And now did you wake up? Are you woken up yet? You got a couple days off to come back here on a Friday night. You get a Johnston team that's, below 500, but they're still tough. I mean, they're still going to play anybody tough. They're still a good team. Things could get interesting tonight if Northwest hasn't been awoken from that loss on Tuesday night. I feel like if you're Johnston, it's a perfect time to do it. You got to win over Ankeny. You're feeling pretty good. You lost to Indianola without a Drew Kingery, which is a pretty tough loss. But I think Johnston caught Northwest at the perfect night if they want to try to gift the Wolves for their second straight loss.
Yeah, and, this can be something that can spiral into multiple losses, or it can wake you up from that, that high level that you're playing at, that 10-0 start for you. And, we've seen it from the Johnston girls team. They're a great example, undefeated last year. They have not rested on their laurels. They have come back, and they might even be better than they were last year, adding Jenica Lewis as a freshman this season.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Waukee Northwest, you go after one player, and when you play Northwest, Price Sanford's going to be the thing. But it's like we talked about, that Waukee game, Cade Kelderman went off 30 points, and then everyone's like, okay, well, never mind. Northwest has some tools that they can use to win these ball games. Now you figured out it's not just Sanford you have to cover. You got to cover Kelderman. You got to cover Henry Manning, who's starting to figure things out. This is a team that a lot of people wondered if they're just going to be a one-man attack like they kind of were last year. Northwest really wasn't taken seriously. Now they got some pieces that they can use. Now you're like, okay, now this Northwest team can really contend for a state title.
Yeah, this is a legitimate team this season, as you've seen growth from Cade Kelderman. And one of the nice things is that he's also someone that has kind of bounced back. A slow start, shooting the ball, but now got that three-point percentage over 40%. We saw it in their last game against Lincoln. It's a different story when you're playing Lincoln versus some of the top teams in the CIML. That's one of the reasons you saw the conferences split, but Lincoln came in with a lot of motivation. They actually outscored Northwest 19-13 in that first quarter. And then Northwest is like, okay, we got to figure out who we are. Yeah. And then they went on a 26-0 run and outscored them 35-4 in the next quarter and a half.
Well, and sometimes playing close games or playing blowouts sometimes isn't great for you, And, the game against Waukee, pretty close. The game against Pewaukee, or whatever, however you say it, from Wisconsin. Pewaukee. From Wisconsin, close game. Then you get Valley, and you're like, okay, but they've handled Dowling. They handled Centennial really well on the road, a 61-52 victory, but that game was much bigger than a lot of people saw as the final score. This Northwest team, they don't play a lot of close games, but, man, they are tough, they're physical, and when Price Sanford gets going, like his brother did last night against Michigan, they are a tough team to beat.
And one of the big things, too, is they're fully healthy now. They got Grant Tigas back. He's a guy that can come in. He's not necessarily going to score the most points, but he can give you anywhere from 7 to 12 a night. We saw a double-digit performance for him against Lincoln. He can step outside. He shoots very well from downtown, going back to the beginning of his sophomore year last season in the starting lineup. Andrew Coase has been a big step-up player for them this year at 56% from downtown. Again, he's not going to score a lot, but he's a great role player on this team, and he's going to step outside. He's not going to take bad shots, and he's going to hit open ones.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Northwest can really depend on. And, you know, for Johnston, they can roll with 3 different guys. Nathan Ruish is definitely one of the big guys, averaging 12 a game, but don't forget about Jalen Richardson, just a sophomore. This kid's good. I don't think a lot of people know about him, but he's over 50% from the floor, 12 points per contest, 40 points or 40% beyond the three-point line. Jalen Richardson, very, very, very talented. Johnston lost a lot from last year's really talented team, but they also returned quite a bit. This is a tough team. Do not let the record miss you. Johnston can play. They can win. This is going to be a tough game coming off a loss for Northwest. They got to wake up.
Yeah, and Johnston, you know, this is a team that's kind of been up and down. You know, they were a team that competed for a state championship a couple of years ago, graduated some top players, had a down year, bounced back last season. And I still remember the doubleheader against Waukee 2 years ago that it came down to the wire in both girls and boys basketball. It was so fun, just like that Waukee one we saw a couple weeks ago against Northwest. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here with starting lineups and a look a little bit closer at both these teams and what to expect in the next contest. Tyler French and Blake Walker coming to you live from the Den at Northwest High School on CISN.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors, stewards of your dollars and savings. Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Welcome back here to Northwest High School. Blake Walker and Tyler French coming to you here on CISN.TV. We're going to go to the public address announcer for the starting lineups of tonight's matchup between the Johnston Dragons and the number 1 ranked Waukee Northwest Wolves.
For Johnston, please welcome Giovanni Lewis, Isharia Patterson, Sheena Calvary, Ali Juwan, and Emma Higgins. And for the Wolves, please welcome Sarah.
So I'm assuming it's going to be Proctor, is it Coffee?
Lauren Dunn, Gary Gieseman, Miles Riccio, Grace Taylor, and Haley Beneke. The officials for tonight's game, as assigned by the CIML, are Mr. Will Dotson, Mr. Travis Merrill, and Mr. Mark Vanderhoff. And now, fans, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Johnston Dragons, 6'0" junior, number 4, Taylor Proctor. And for your Northwest Wolves, 6'1" senior, number 2, Kay Collins. For Johnston, a 6'7" senior, number 12, sophomore, number 14, Jalen Richardson. And for the Wolves, 6'1" senior, number 15, Henry Manning. For the Dragons, a 6'4" senior, number 15, Nate Bruce. And for the Wolves, a 6'7" senior, number 21, Bryce Sanford. And for the Dragons, a 5'11" sophomore, number 24, Prestige Taylor. And for the Wolves, a 6'4" junior, number 25, Grant Tigas. The head coach of the Dragons is Brian Sheridan, and the head coach of the Wolves is Brett Watson.
The Wolves coming off that loss to Valley on Tuesday, 10-1. The Johnston Dragons 5-7. Both teams looking for a big win here on Friday Night Hoops on CISN.TV. Recap of the starting lineups: Proctor, Tornabane, Richardson, Ruish, and Taylor for Johnston. And it is the same lineup we've seen over the last 5 or 6 games since Grant Tigas came back from injury. Kelderman, Coase, Manning, Sanford, and Tigas. Andrew Coase has been a great find in the starting lineup for them this season. 3-and-D guard that can also handle the ball a little bit. Manning has started to come out of that shooting slump that plagued him at the beginning of the year. And Caden Kelderman and Bryce Sanford doing what Caden Kelderman and Bryce Sanford like to do. It'll be Tornabane and Sanford. Sanford winning the opening tip easily. And Kelderman will handle the ball to get things started. A little bit faster pace action we see in boys basketball, and Northwest, a team that really likes to push the issue as Manning catches the ball up top. Sanford looking for the ball down low, and it's going to skip past him, but goes right to Kelderman. Bad pass here. Manning trying to get over to it as Coase with the bounce pass. That's one of the things. Bryce Sanford has more swats this year than the entire Johnston team, pushing the issue back the other way. He'll kick it out. Coase, a couple dribbles to his right side. Gets double teamed, trying to bounce pass again, and it's stolen away by Tornabane.
Tough, tight defense, not leaving a lot of breathing room.
Three-pointer from the corner. This one missed. Tipped away, but brought in by Kelderman. That three missed by Ruish from the corner. Ruish, a 6'4" senior. Some decent height in the starting lineup between Tornabane and Ruish. Sanford wide open in the corner. He'll hit off the assist from Andrew Coase.
Can't do that if you're Johnston. That is one of the best scorers in the state of Iowa. Can't leave him wide open for three.
May have only been his second year in school history, but the best scorer in school history. From the top, Proctor. He gets double teamed, looking to try and get the pass off. Sanford in on that one, comes away with the steal. It'll be tipped around, and it's going to stay right here as it looked like a last touch by Coase on the floor.
It was a slippery basketball. Nobody could seem to grab that. I thought Sanford for sure would have it down on the floor, but Northwest, all right, we're going to talk about it. I could have sworn it was Johnston, but.
As it stands right now, Johnston basketball. Proctor taking the ball out of bounds. 6:30 remaining here in the first quarter. Only basket, the three-pointer by Sanford in the previous possession. And Andrew Coase, after those back-to-back turnovers, picking up the assist, finding Sanford wide open. He found him before the defense did, which is not something that you can let have happen.
I have no idea what they're talking about here.
It looked like it was going to be a pretty...
I think this might be a shot clock issue.
Yeah, shot clock should not have reset as Sanford never got full possession.
I think someone just got a little trigger happy. There you go, 22 seconds on the shot. Understandable. It's hard to run the shot clock.
Well, it's still first year implementation. I think it's been a great addition to the game here in Iowa. Ruish looking to back down, puts the shot up, no good. And it's going to be tipped out, though. Floater put up and hit by Taylor. And Henry Manning slow to get up. There'll be a quick stop and play.
Man, I took kind of an awkward hit.
Manning's going to check out as Natish Sakaranthi comes to the game.
Well, now you add a little bit of size. I mean, I know Sanford's pretty tall, but when you got a guy down low like Sam Tornabane, 6'7", now Natish down there as well at 6'7".
And they shift Talon Proctor now over to guarding Sanford, and a 6-inch height advantage there, and he already has a nice high release on that shot. Big thing, too, is Grant Tigas then slides to the 3 at 6'4". And I feel like he's a taller player than 6'4". Puts this shot up from the corner. Left a little bit short. Did not get his feet set on that one. Johnston pushing the issue back the other way into the corner. The ball was tipped. It'll kick back out. Tornabane 56% from downtown, but can't get that one. It's rebounded by Tigas.
Got a good look.
Cross half court. Kelderman brings the ball. Scoreless so far, but averaging about 17 to 18 a game. Sanford gets to Tigas in the corner. Coes pops to the top and get it back to Sanford. There's going to be 2-3 defenders watching Sanford every time he touches that ball. Tigas on the out-of-bounds line. Some sloppy passing here early on for Northwest. They've had a couple opportunities. Should be up a couple possessions, but up just one after 3 turnovers in their first 5 possessions.
Both teams are doing a really good job staying up on each other. I mean, nothing's coming easy. If you're going to make a pass, you better be wide open because both teams jump in passing lanes really well.
Taylor comes around the screen. He'll get over to Tornabane, who will line up another 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. 0 for 2 now. Both rebounds brought in by Grant Tigas.
I appreciate the confidence to shoot it. I mean, he thinks he can make it. He's been able to make it all season long.
Tigas gets it over to Sanford. Sanford double team. Nice cross-court pass using that height. Get it down low to Natish. He'll go to work, finds Tigas. Tigas goes up, swatted away by Tornabane. Here comes Proctor back the other way, trying to get a jump stop. Kicks it back out to Taylor, fires the 3, hits it! Prestige Taylor has all 5 of the Johnston points, and they take their first lead. Only 1 basket so far for Northwest, as we're already near the halfway point of this first quarter.
Hope you like defense.
Coach Watson shouting some play call instructions into his team. Kelderman drives in, tries to adjust. One of the better finishers in the state, but this one's going to go off him out of bounds. Took it right at the 6'7" Samuel Tornabane, but couldn't convert. Henry Manning, good to see him back after the injury.
A couple of the mistakes that we saw Northwest make against Valley, have bled over into this game. Not many. I mean, they're still looking fine, but just a couple errant passes. Got to start figuring those out here.
Logan Kerr into the game for the first time for Johnston. And it's going to be an offensive foul, first foul on either team this game. It'll go against number 12, Tornabane.
And Northwest, I mean, if they can get him out early, that's a big part of this game.
He, Jacob Simpson, and Carter Loney, really the only players with height out there at 6'7", 6'6", and 6'9", respectively.
Not sure. They're asking some. Oh, I think they were checking on Henry Manning. They looked at Henry and they were like, who did he get checked by? I think they were just making sure he did get checked for a concussion just in case.
Kelderman kicks it to Coase here on the near side wing. Gets it over to Sanford. Crowd wanted to walk here on the Johnston side. Sanford, spin move down low, and there's going to be a foul down low called against Proctor. Surprised they gave him the shot as he passed the ball off.
I was surprised that was a shooting foul. I'm definitely Johnston's coach not happy about it.
So foul goes against Proctor, his first. Sanford has all 3 so far for Northwest. 86% free throw shooter, one of the best free throw shooters in the state over the last 3 seasons. First shot is good from the 6'7" senior.
Yeah, Johnston did not think he was in shooting form. And I think he was trying to get down low.
Northwest is confident when they don't put a single rebounder up at the block when they have the opportunity. Kerr here in the corner, dribbled back out, pass to Taylor. Tornabane 0 for 2 so far from the field. He'll give it off to Proctor. He'll work his way down low. Has it taken away for a second. It'll be a jump ball. It'll go back to Northwest. Second jump ball we've seen here in the first quarter. 3:31 remaining here in the first. Jacob Simpson will check in for the first time for Johnston, while Natish will return to action for Northwest.
It's been a couple times that I feel like Johnston could really go down low and try to get fouled. They just haven't. It's almost like they're scared to. We saw that on a transition possibly earlier, and they just didn't want to pass it out. Luckily led to a 3, but
Tornabane throws it into the corner to Simpson. Simpson immediately going to work, trying to back down Natish Chakaranthi. Back out for Kerr. Kerr looking to go baseline. And that's not a guy you want to try and put a post move on. And the ball is going to be stolen by Kelderman. And there's going to be a quick stoppage in play. I think they say it goes out of bounds, last touched.
He was about to call 5 seconds, and then he saw that the ball had already gone. He said, my bad. I think the official thought he was about to call 5 seconds. He didn't see that the ball had already left his hands.
Jalen Richardson checks back into the game. Tornabane takes a seat. So now Simpson, the lone big, out there. Kelderman picks up his dribble. He'll get it off to Sanford. Sanford 5 points in this game so far. It's been him and Prestige Taylor exchanging baskets. Tiggis back out. Manning spots up, fires a three. In and out, no good. Rebound brought in by Richardson, coming back the other way. Taylor running with him to the right. They're going to kick it to Taylor in the corner. Surprising to get called for the travel. Looked like he picked up that pivot foot before getting the dribble down. Pass down low. Natish goes up defensively, and I think he might have gotten a piece of it. Sanford gets the rebound. Sanford pops and fires! Sanford goes coast to coast, hits another three. That's his second of the game. Fading away, putting the shot up, no good, was Ruish. Another rebound for Sanford.
Look out.
Sanford will fire another one. Oh. This one, a little bit of a heat check on that one. Hand right in his face.
Hey. He said, I have the first aid. Let me just try to keep going.
Kerr had the ball knocked away, able to recover his dribble. He'll get it off to Taylor. 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Offense is starting to figure things out a little bit here. 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. And they're going to call a reach-in foul here, I believe, against Tiggis.
Man, they don't want to go up. I feel like once they get in the post, they're just like, we can't, man. We don't want to get blocked. And that,
I think everyone's scared of Sanford coming from that weak side. Averaging 3.2 blocks per game. Mentioned before, he has more blocks this season than the entire team for Johnston coming in.
It's just the first foul for Northwest. He stayed pretty disciplined so far.
Taylor Proctor and Samuel Tornabane back into action. Ball pass in deep for Richardson. Richardson, one of the 2 double-digit scorers along with Ruish. Kerr picks up his dribble, finds a open shot for Richardson. It'll be missed and tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Natish.
Felt like it was kind of a forced shot there by Richardson. Luckily, you catch a break there on the ball going out of bounds, but
yeah, both teams still trying to get in a flow offensively, as it's been the entire flow for Northwest says, here, Price, shoot. But let's be honest, that's a lot of nights.
It is. Tough foul there on Jacob Simpson. Tried to push off of Natish to get away, and right in front of the official, couldn't quite get away with it.
So Northwest, the 8-5 lead. Tiggis will catch it in the high post, trying to get it out for an open shot for Sanford. Sanford didn't quite cut hard enough off the screen. Tiggis will catch it again in the corner. Gets it to Kelderman. Kelderman, triple team, finds Tiggis in the corner. He'll fire the three and hits it. First non-Price Sanford point. And it comes off the assist from Cade Kelderman. Defense turning into offense already as Kelderman gets the steal. Finds Tiggis in the corner. He'll fire another one. Bang! Back-to-back threes for Grant Tiggis. Johnston calls timeout. Northwest with a 9-point lead. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. What a run for Northwest. It's 11 straight.
That is great defensive pressure off the inbound. Johnston got just too lazy. They got too lazy. They didn't think they were going to be able to get that ball in. Northwest right on top of it. And Grant Tiggis starting to figure things out beyond the three-point line. Nice back-to-back three-point jacks.
And Cade Kelderman, they teach you not to hit that jump pass, but you can see it as he went in, got lost among the trees. And even though he's at 6 foot, and I think that's a general listing at 6'1", but finds Tiggis, and like I said, he's a guy that finds his spots and knows when he is needed most. Johnston was up 5-3, now find themselves down 14-5. It's the exact type of game that Northwest does, that they can put an onslaught out there offensively between Kelderman and Sanford, and now having Grant Tiggis back adds another shooter to their arsenal.
Well, and when 12 of your 14 points are beyond the arc, it makes you feel pretty good.
Especially when a guy that was one of your best shooters last year, Henry Manning, is still shooting under 30% from three. Natish intercepts this pass. That's 3 straight turnovers now on the other side for Johnston. Manning looks to go off the dribble, runs into a double team, dribbles back out, gets it over to Kelderman. Kelderman feeling out the defense now a little bit. Sanford looking to set a down screen on the far side for Manning. They'll get it over to Manning. 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Sanford looking to go to work. Dribbles on the double team, dribbles back out. Finds Sanford down low.
Oh, my.
Finds Tigas. And Natish's block, not too often that Sakaranthi has a shot blocked. It'll go out of bounds. 2 seconds remaining. Got to wonder where this ball's going to go.
I mean, I got to say, despite the block shot, what passing. I mean, just vision by those guys on the floor for Northwest.
They get into Manning. One dribble. Can't get the shot off in time. So shot clock violation will give the ball back to Johnston with 12.8 remaining and an opportunity to try and whittle down this lead a little bit on the final possession.
I think Price was trying to tell Cade, he's like, hey, man, I know I was covered, but he's like, yeah, just give it to me. I'll figure it out.
I'm 6'7" and shoot above my head. I'm good. I don't think I've seen him have a three-point shot blocked and covering him for 2.5 years now. Ball brought across half court by Taylor. It'll be thrown over to Proctor. Down to 3 on the clock. Tornabane fires with a shot. Hand in his face. And Tornabane, apparently buzzer beaters were on the menu today for Johnston. That's their third in 2 games. And a big shot for Tornabane cuts it back to 6 as we head into the second quarter. 1 for 3 in that first quarter. We'll take a short break and be right back here on CISN.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
Community protectors. And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
friends and neighbors, stewards of your dollars and savings. Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
Behind your everyday.
and we are
Obsessively.
relentlessly.
At your service.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Samuel Tornabane hitting a big three-pointer at the end of the first quarter, cut it back to 6 and ending an 11-0 run for Northwest. Kelderman into the half-court set. As we begin action here in the second quarter, it was 5-3 before Northwest, the 11-0 run, and finally able to end it at that last second shot. And Tornabane had missed 2 open shots earlier and hit that one with a hand right in his face, and a very impressive shot. As this one thrown to Tigas in the corner, he'll go in and he'll be fouled on the pass. 14 foul against Johnston here in the first half.
Johnston's played good defense so far. I mean, despite giving up a couple threes, you know, they're handsy. I mean, they're trying to force turnovers. Northwest cleaned up the passing a little bit.
Coase will get the ball to Tigas, now to Kelderman. Coase was open for a second, but Kelderman backing down. The smaller defender, not something you say very often with Kelderman, has it tipped away for a second, but he dives in and able to recover it. Now here comes Tigas off the dribble, finds Kelderman open in the corner. Kelderman with that left-handed floater gets it to roll around and in. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the better finishers in the state, averaging 17 and 5 assists per game this year.
It's a tough 1-2 punch with him and Bryce Sanford if they both get going.
Taylor coming off the screen, he'll give it off. A shot put up and buried from downtown by Ruish. See, the Dragons will start getting their offensive going. Prestige Taylor had their first 5, and then they were scoreless until that last second 3 by Tornabane. Tigas hit 2 threes in the first quarter. Can't get that one to fall. Ball brought in by Richardson, who will bring it down for the Dragons. Richardson, one of the 2 leading scorers, gives it off to Ruish. Just a sophomore this year is the 6'3 Richardson. He's had a very strong year so far for Johnston.
And he's only a sophomore. I mean, he's growing, getting better every single game.
Another sophomore, Taylor, he's got 7 tonight. Was able to stop, gather himself, fade away a little bit, and bank that one home. Lead down to just 3 for Northwest. It was up to 9, but they've gone a nice little run, have the Dragons. Pass down low by Coase. Manning he gets the floater to fall off the assist from his classmate.
Only had 2 scorers there in that first quarter for Northwest. Now 4 guys have reached the scoring column.
Off the dribble, spin move down low, can't get it to fall, and Sanford brings in another rebound. 8 points, 4 boards so far for the 6'7" senior. And they're going to say he was fouled on the shot attempt, and he'll go back to the free throw line looking to get into double figures. Alec Bauer will check in for the first time after the first free throw for Johnston. And Logan Kerr will return to action as well for the Dragons. First shot, nothing but net.
You know, he had those 8 points, and then he kind of cooled off there at the end of the quarter, just couldn't get any open looks. Luckily, Grant Tigas was able to knock down his pair of threes, but, you know, Price, I feel like any time he wants to take over a game, he can do that.
He knocks into both free throws. 10 points, 4 boards, and a block for the senior. And Northwest lead back up 7. Taylor dribble handoff, trying to get it over to Ruish. Lost it for a second. Kerr now back to Taylor at the top of the key. Screen set by Simpson. Taylor saw that didn't have quite the matchup he wanted. Finds Ruish in the corner, who hits a second three.
And this is no surprise from Nathan Ruish. I mean, he's averaging 12 per contest, 40% three-point shooter. I mean, he can take and make those.
And they're going to need more of that to try and keep pace with Northwest. 20-16 our score. As Sanford trying to answer with another three, and he does. Give him 13.
Man, even when he's covered. I mean, even when he's covered, he's still able to hit the shot. And like you said, that height, it just helps.
The crazy part is, he's averaging 23 a game, and you can make the argument that he's having a little bit of a down year compared to last season, where he was up near 26, 27 and led 4A in scoring. The big thing is that he's been hitting the boards hard this year. They might be pretty close to his stats from last season. As Tigas lost it on the gather, follows, can't knock it in though.
Well, and I feel like the pieces around Sanford have gotten better. I think that's another thing. Last year it felt like Sanford was a one-man show if Henry Manning showed up a couple times, but this year I feel like they've definitely started to really gather around him. That's what makes this team so much better than last year.
Kerr, a little bit of a wild shot, miss. Sanford with the board, and a foul is going to be called against Taylor here on the other side. Crowd not happy with the call once again. Sakaranthi will return to action. Coase heads to the bench for Northwest.
It's been a physical game.
Northwest bench really only goes like one deep, maybe two on some nights when we see Chase Lamb or Sam Johnson get some action.
It worries me when they get, it doesn't worry me because they've done this so much, but you get to the postseason, you're like, dang, you're, especially at the state tournament, you're playing almost every single day. You got to keep it up. You got to make sure your stamina's up.
Manning cuts up, gets the pass, now get it to Kelderman, screen set up top. It's pretty crazy when you can have a pick and roll matchup or pick and pop between Kelderman and Sanford.
I think a little bit better of a pass there. Sanford would have gotten a better look. Cade kind of lobbed it.
It was Bauer stopping in the high post, and there's going to be a carry call here. That's something I wish they would call more in all levels of basketball because every point guard carries every possession.
See it a lot. Well, in that time, I think Sanford, again, a little bit of intimidation factor. You have to go up against him. He's not going to make it easy.
Northwest with a 7-point lead, 23-16. Over halfway through this second quarter. Tigas a nice left-handed layup, but he blew it on the last opportunity. And an over-the-back foul called here. That'll go against Sakaranthi. Just a second team foul against Northwest, 6 against Johnston.
He's having a tough time ever since those 2 threes. I think he's kind of frustrated with himself. As again, Kelderman
absorbed the contact, couldn't get the shot to fall. Northwest bench wanted a foul on that one. Kelderman, his second steal, as he has been a pain in the butt on those inbounds passes here early on in this game. Richardson with the ball up top. Thought about a three, but noticed who was standing in front of him. Simpson trying to go up strong. Rebound brought in by Kelderman as the shot was missed.
The battle of rebounds has been tough. Everybody's had to fight for a rebound every single time.
Kelderman shot out of a cannon on that one, gets the layup to fall. Lead back up 9 for Northwest, 25-16, under 3 left before halftime. This one lost by Roosh, but able to recover, gives it off to Kerr. Kerr goes between his legs, fades away in the short post, and gets it to fall as well. Logan Kerr with his first basket, lead back down to 7. Kelderman off of the dribble handoff, gets it to take us back out to Kelderman. Sanford was open for a second. They couldn't get him the ball, but he's looking to attack offensively. I'm surprised he picked up his dribble on that one.
I could have swore he would have shot. Nice
what
pass.
A pass. Wraparound pass by Manning. Finds Sakaranthi, who lays it in.
That's one thing with Northwest that makes them so fun to watch. Their passing feels like the Harlem Globetrotters at some time. They're just, everything seems scripted with the way that they pass the basketball around.
And it really feels like if he wanted to, Sanford could go out and get 30, 35 every game.
Yeah.
He could go out there like a Harrison Barnes and just dominate with his abilities.
These guys are unselfish. I mean, that's one of the big things that makes them so good. They're so unselfish. They just want to win. They want to work together.
One of my favorite things, though, is seeing Price when he's pissed, because then he starts looking for his shot as Tigas knocks in another shot. But when Sanford is actively hunting his shot, he's the hardest player to guard in the state. So it'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here after a third Grant Tigas 3 gives Northwest their largest lead at 12, 30-18 with a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Blake Walker, Tyler French coming to you live here on CISN.TV with a CIML matchup. Northwest looking strong, bouncing back after that loss to Valley on Tuesday, and Johnston just doesn't have an answer.
Yeah, and, right now, just good ball movement. I think that's the big key difference maker here. It should be Grant Tigas' three-pointer again. He's got 3. But, just unselfish basketball. This is actually Natish. But, unselfish basketball. Northwest taking time on possessions, not really rushed. It feels like Johnston's forcing a couple shots. That's the big difference so far in this one.
The big thing with Northwest is that even when you see the shot clock rolling down, they're under control. There's no, rush. They are in the flow of the offense. And that's when the Coach Watson's brought since coming over from Indianola. Indianola had some great seasons with him down there. And it'll be interesting to see, if he matches up against Indianola in the playoffs. There were jokes about that last year with going into the playoffs of whether or not he was going to face his old team and Drew Kingery.
That Indianola team, they're scrappy. They've won a couple games here in a row against, without Drew Kingery, their leading scorer. Beat Dallas Center Grimes, beat this Johnston team. They're tough.
Indianola is a team that's had some really successful players over the last 10 years or so.
The Blake family obviously goes through Indianola. Very good family.
I'll tell you this much. I got to see Keegan Runder, the former Iowa Hawkeye center. He played basketball there through his junior year, and we played him when I was at Norwalk. It was unfair. The dude had really no basketball skills, but would go out and average double figures because no one could guard him. And he would randomly hit a 3 every now and then. But when he's 6'5", 300 pounds.
Tough.
Yeah. There was one player in the entire area that could guard him, and that was our 6'9", 280 center. Tornabane can go to the free throw line after the foul.
He's working hard down low. I mean, I'm impressed. Once again, with his height, hasn't been able to get real strong from the three-point line tonight. He hit that one earlier, but he's working hard underneath.
He's been held scoreless since that made 3 at the buzzer at the end of the first quarter that you mentioned. 12-point lead for Northwest. Misses the first free throw. Coe's back to the game for Northwest. Line up on the other side, including Tornabane, Kerr. As it'll be Simpson returning, replacing Tornabane. Other starters out there, including Taylor and number 15, Roosh. Northwest lead at 11 as we're under a minute remaining here in the first half. It's been a quick flowing game as Kelderman turns the corner and gets the layup to fall on the other side of the basket.
Got 6 this quarter. I mean, he started to figure things out. Quiet first quarter in general, but Northwest has really picked things up here.
Richardson dragged that pivot foot before he took off. So Northwest will have the opportunity to hold for the final shot in a 13-point lead.
And sometimes it feels like when Northwest starts hitting shots, it's like an avalanche. I mean, it's just, they're hard to stop once they get going.
And we saw a big first half so far from Price Sanford. He's got 13 to his credit in this game. And now when you get Cade Kelderman starting to knock in some shots, and he hasn't even attempted a three so far. As it looks like Sanford's going to hold. It's Richardson guarding him up here. Backs off, able to avoid anything with a 5-second call. And this is one of those end-of-quarter situations that you practice all the time. You've got guards that are popping out, trying to avoid that 5-second call. They get it. What a pass. Cross court finds Manning, who can't convert the three. That would have been one of the top 5 plays of the week. As this one from three-quarters court is missed. And Northwest will go into the break up 13 over the Johnston Dragons. Price Sanford, 13 points, 6 rebounds in the first half, leading the way for Northwest. But great game so far from Tigas and Kelderman, to their credit as well. We'll take a break and be back with some halftime stats and analysis. You're watching Northwest versus Johnston here on CISN.TV.
75 years, Holt Service Trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Mornings. They can be hectic.
Let's go!
So can your car, so to get a free pickup, drop-off, or delivery, head over to Honest Wrenches. And their loaner vehicles?
No extra charge.
Find your peace of mind with even more wonderful services.
Every vehicle that comes in gets a full visual inspection and a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty. No extra charge.
Head on over to Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional-grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western. More jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
DeArmond certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond Certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondAuto.com.
Welcome back here on CISN TV, the dance team performing here at halftime. Northwest up 32-19, the 13 points. Price Sanford. An impressive game, but what else have we come to expect from the 6'7" senior?
It's almost every night. You just expect it. And, when he's not on, usually somebody else is. And, they're starting to figure things out. Grant Tigas has 9 points, all from the three-point line. Price Sanford with 13. Cade Kelderman started to come alive there. He's got 6. Just spreading of the wealth. And for Johnston, couple turnovers, couple forced shots. Feels like shots that they don't need to take. That's been the big difference maker tonight.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you see with this offense, you mentioned the passing multiple times in the first half. It's an unselfish group. They don't care who scores as long as someone scores.
Yeah, and that's been how it is. And, last year, it's like you and I talked about. Last year, Sanford was the guy. He was averaging about 30 per contest, and he was getting his 40 points every night. This year, he doesn't have to. I mean, he still can go out and just score at will, but he doesn't have to. He's got those pieces around him. And this is a Johnston team that lost a lot last year. You lost a lot of your top scorers. And, good start in the first quarter, I felt like. But if Northwest goes on a run, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, and Northwest doing a great job tonight. One, to bounce back from that loss from Tuesday night and not to look ahead. Obviously, you got another game on Tuesday, but the big matchup is a week from tonight when
Yeah.
you're going to be in that rematch against Waukee. Two of the top 5 teams in the state on paper right now are probably, that 3 or 4 spot with Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, and a couple other teams factoring in. But when you look at those rosters, it's hard not to say that Northwest and Waukee are the top 2.
It is. I mean, and, I could maybe make an argument for Cedar Rapids Kennedy simply because they score so many points. They scored 120 points a couple of weeks ago. They're going to be tough, and we can't not discredit Kennedy because they made it to the title game last year. They beat Waukee Northwest. Unfortunately, lost to Ames in the title. But, I think next week it'll probably be a 2-3, 2-4 matchup, or 3-4. Depends on if Dubuque Senior jumps up past. But, Waukee Northwest, everybody wants it to be the state title because it would be one of the better state titles we've ever seen. And, next week it's just another chapter. Waukee, both girls and boys, have still not beaten Waukee Northwest. Next week could be the week.
One of my favorite things that Northwest does, the wing eating competition here.
Where are these wings from?
I believe Jethro's.
Oh, that's pretty good wings. The way they do it is so interesting because usually the wings are made, you just stick it, pull, you're good. But these guys, they're going at it. Guy on the left, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Depends on how much chicken you're actually downing.
Yeah, I don't know how it factors in, but he is definitely in the lead if it's just based on number of wings you mostly eat. But I definitely see a lot of meat left on those bones.
That's why it's fun to make the state tournament girls basketball because they, again, have the barbecue eating contest. Everybody likes that. But, we talk about the state tournament. You got January and you got February. Games, you can't take a day off. And that's one of the things that, Waukee Northwest back on Tuesday, it's
I'm sorry, he finished the wings and he's going back to eat
Is there
the
no
rest
timer?
There is, but he ate all the wings. Like he went through all of the wings.
Now they got who ate more? Is it a Johnston versus Northwest? Or
Yes,
is
they
it,
pick one student from each student section.
Now they're counting wings. Uh-oh.
I just love that he got to the last wing and then went back and is like, there's more meat on these. I'm getting more free wings.
Well,
That's been the most exciting thing they've had to cheer about all night.
How about that? Might want to wash his hands before he goes back with his white T-shirt.
But Johnston on the other side here tonight. We've seen a good, shots made here and there, but they just haven't been able to put a run together outside of one quick run ending that 11-0 run that we saw from Waukee Northwest.
I want to see Nathan Roosh step up. I mean, I think, he's got 2 3-pointers tonight. He's one of the top leading scorers. If we start to see him start to come into his own here, I think it could be a whole different ball game. You can come back. It's not, the deficit isn't that big. 13 points is just fine. You get a 3, you're already back within 10. There's still a lot of ball game to be played. If you can tighten up back on defense like you did in the first couple of minutes, you might do just fine.
We'll take another break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes to look forward to the second half and what each team needs to do to come away with the win. You're watching CIML Basketball on CISN.TV.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Ever have one of those awkward moments where business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
DeArmond certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondAuto.com.
Ball team's back out on the floor, ready for the second half of action. Northwest will roll with the same lineup: Kelderman, Coes, Tiggis, Manning, and Sandfort. And I'm looking, they got to continue to play through Price Sandfort. It's been their bread and butter all season, and it's worked pretty well with a 10-1 record.
Yeah, it has. And, even against Valley, didn't have a terrible game. It's just kind of one of those things that if Northwest can figure out something on offense and they can go on those runs, when Northwest is on a run, that's when they're most dangerous. Johnston, same thing. Johnston really hasn't gone on a run tonight. They got to do that if they want to come back into this thing and get your leading scorers back into it. That's another important factor.
Johnston will roll with their starting lineup as well. Roosh, Richardson, Taylor, Proctor, and Tornabane will get the call to open up. And it'll be inbounded into Taylor. We're back underway here. 16 minutes remaining. Northwest with a 13-point lead as Taylor gets the pass over to the far wing. Proctor out there. Proctor we didn't see at times a lot in the second quarter as Tornabane turns over that right shoulder and able to lay it in over the outstretched arm of number 25, Grant Tiggis.
He only had 4 points there in the first half, 1 3 and a free throw. I feel like, he missed his first 2 threes. This is a nice block. It was almost a missed lob, if anything.
This one will be thrown into the corner for Richardson, the 6'3 sophomore. And it's going to be an offensive foul, a charge as Coe steps up, takes one in the chin.
Now, I don't know if this is still correct. Is Northwest still supposed to go to City High tomorrow that you know of? It just says TBD. I didn't know.
Not 100% sure, to be completely honest, because apparently they're supposed to go twice tomorrow, both times. Go Bound is not the best location. I always check CIML Central. Wide open three from the corner, no good. Sandford doesn't miss a lot of those, but unable to come up with a basket here. Northwest lead down to 11 after that Tornabane layup. He'll put up a three here too. Can't get that one to fall. Sandford will haul in the board, his 7th of the night. Kells will catch it here, deep on the wing. Dribble handoff, and give it back to take us up to Kelderman.
Coase has been pretty quiet tonight.
He's not a guy that's going to score a lot. He's going to take and usually make some good shots. Sandford gets the rebound, goes back up, and is fouled. So he'll go back to the charity stripe where he has not missed so far in the evening.
Announcer's curse almost worked in a positive way there, but Sandford, I think he was kind of frustrated. I think he thought he'd been held quite a few times tonight. Finally gets that call. Go to the line, like he said, has been perfect tonight.
Knocks in the first one, give him 14 now for the evening. One of the toughest guards for defenses in the entire state. 23 points per game. Actually down from his season average a year ago where he was up near 27 and led 4A in scoring.
Felt like last year, it was almost every other game. You'd look on Twitter or something and it's like, well, he just dropped 45, he just dropped 40.
Henry Manning comes up with a steal, trying to lead the charge back the other way. And in transition, he lays it in and scores. Manning, his second basket, this one coming off the steal, and Northwest has their largest lead at 15.
He's a heck of a golfer. I don't know what skills come across from the golf course over to the basketball court, but man, he can really score.
This one floated in by Richardson. Yeah, it's crazy. He can score in one and avoid scoring in the other.
Jalen Richardson finally catches the score tonight. First points of the evening for the top statistical leading scorer for Johnston.
Manning pops up, catches the pass, can't get it to fall. Tiggis tacks the boards hard, and it's going to be a jump ball. It'll stay right here with Northwest.
Oh, Oh, they said foul.
Crowd on this side not happy with that call. That'll go against number 3, Tornabane. That is his third. And Taylor Proctor also with 3. So 2 starters in a little bit of foul trouble. It'll be a kick ball. 13-point lead for Northwest. As they've got the ball under their own basket. Kelderman gets it in to Tigges, now over to Manning. Played hard by Proctor, tried to come up with a steal. Manning gets into the heart of the defense, tried to throw it over to Coase, almost hits a fan in the face on the other side of the floor.
Passing's tough, and they're really good at passing. Sometimes just airmail, and the guy's not quite that tough.
Taylor bring the ball across half court, 2.5 gone here in the third quarter. Gets it over to Proctor on the far side. Proctor looking to find it into the high post, gets it to Tornabane, backs down Tigges, goes back to that right hand, and they're going to call a foul. Tigges went straight up, but gets called for the contact, and Tornabane will go to the free throw line, going after the old-fashioned three-point play. Tornabane to the free throw line, knocked one in earlier. He's got 8 now for the evening. Make it 9. A little bit of a press setup now for Johnston as they've got it back down to 10.
Update over from Valley. Valley leads Downley Catholic 48-27.
Kelderman finds Coase in the corner. Valley, that impressive win over Northwest on Tuesday night. First loss and only loss of the season so far. And another bad pass, this one out of the hands of Andrew Coase. Defense stepping up a little bit here for Johnston, making life a little bit harder on Northwest. And Northwest is actually going to use their first timeout of the game. 30-second timeout called by Coach Watson. Just wants to talk things over. We'll keep it right here on CISN as the Wolves lead down to 10. But Johnston, it still feels like they are so far behind.
It's just kind of one of those things we talked about Northwest against Johnston in the girls' game. If you just hang around enough, you could get a little pesky when it comes to the end of a ball game, and Johnston's doing just that. Northwest, sometimes you get on top of it, you get a little overzealous, take some shots you don't really want to take. Johnston, I mean, they'll just hang around. If they can start knocking a couple more shots down, obviously that makes a big difference. But, Northwest, not the best start to the quarter here by any means.
And we do have confirmation they will be in Iowa City tomorrow at 2:30. Matchup with Iowa City High. Iowa City High, a lot of great sports programs over the last couple of years. It seems like if you're a coach at Iowa, you usually send your kids to Iowa City High or Solon.
They, Iowa City High's football program obviously pretty good. This year kind of took a step back. Next year they'll probably take a big step back. They graduated a really good senior class all across the board in every sort of athletics. Lost a couple transfers. I know the Jones girl went down to West Liberty to play basketball.
Tornabane kicks this one out to Taylor, who hits the 3.
But yeah, Iowa City West, they still got a McCaffrey kid, so still tough. Don't worry, it's the last McCaffrey if you're not an Iowa fan.
If you are an Iowa fan, you hope it's the last McCaffrey. Taylor goes up, loses the ball. And I think they're going to say it was a clean play, just lost it on the gather.
A little sloppy basketball here by Northwest. It feels like they've gotten away from the bread and butter that was the offense there for a little bit. And Johnston's starting to figure things out a little bit.
Johnston on an 8-0 run, I believe, as this lead was up to 15, now down to just 7 after that Taylor 3. Richardson has it stripped, though. And Coase coming back the other way. Has it blocked. It'll stay right here with Northwest. Good play.
That was the weirdest block I've ever seen. He just kind of stood in front of him and was like, all right, you can try it.
Dylan Grandin off the bench. Coach Frick just kind of switching things up, seeing if he can change something. And that's what we've seen. Ball inbounded in to Tigges, getting to Sanford in the corner.
I was just about to say, Sanford has not touched the ball a lot here this quarter.
Manning, contact, no foul called. Triple team here, and Coase loses the ball again. Taylor leading the charge back the other way, trying to get back to 2 possessions. First time it would be at that since early on in the second quarter. Brandy gives the ball off in the high post. Turnabane kicks it back out for Taylor. Taylor, 10 points here tonight. Had the first 5 earlier on. And there's going to be a foul down low. That'll go against Tegas. That is number 2. Excuse me, number 3. Coes will take a seat.
One thing right now that Johnson's doing on defense, and it might come back to bite him, when someone's down low, there's like 3 guys collapsing down low. It's only a matter of time before Northwest starts making some passes, and then you get wide open guys for 3.
This switch, as they're going to call a foul down low again. They've been calling everything on those post-ups. This one will go against Sanford, his first. Now Tornabane will go to the free throw line. This one I definitely agree with, though. You got that arm bar a little bit there from Sanford. But the ones on Tegas, he was straight up. Tough to see those ones as Tornabane knocks it in, gets it down to 6.
He's got 6 this quarter.
To cut the lead to 5, knocks it in. That's a 10-0 run for Johnston. Tornabane started a little bit slow, didn't get his first basket until the end of the first quarter, but he's come alive now, 11 in tonight's game. Sanford gets it over to Kelderman. This defense flying around, trying to create some havoc, and it's been going well for him so far, but you mentioned at some point you got to think that Northwest is going to figure it out. Sanford loses it. Taylor comes up with a steal, trying to get it back to 1 possession here in transition. In the corner, Woosh fires the 3 from the three-point line, can't get it to fall. Offensive rebound by Richardson. He goes back up. Layup good, down to just 3 is the lead, and a full timeout here from Coach Watson. Jalen Richardson, just his 2nd basket of the game, but it's the big one. We got a 3-point contest here, ladies and gentlemen. Back after a minute right here on CISN.TV.
This is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore. 109th and Douglas at Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore. 109th and Douglas at Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's...
It's a 3-point game here with 2:50 remaining in the third quarter. Northwest on a big cold streak. It's 12 straight for Johnston. Northwest looked like they were going to run away with it, but the Dragons not ready to go into the 9th point yet. Sanford going to be fouled.
I mean, that's been about what it's been, because I swear every time it's just the ball gets a little loose on the ground, Northwest has to go and get it. That time they get foul called, so they bail it out of the situation. But boy, uncharacteristic for Northwest here in this third quarter.
Foul goes against Richardson. That's his 2nd. Sanford finds Manning in the high post, slices through the defense. He'll get it out to Kelderman, who can't get the 3 to fall off the pass from Natish.
Got a great look, though. I mean, and like we talked about, someone was going to get open. It's just a matter of time before Northwest starts hitting shots.
Johnson's been playing through Tornabane down low. We'll see if they continue to go there with him guarded by Sanford now. This one, I think Natish got a piece of it, but immediately Tornabane with the steal. Lost the ball, and then they're going to call a foul on Natish.
I don't know if he even had possession of the ball, but...
Foul called against Natish. That is his 3rd. He can take us in a little bit of foul trouble here late in the third quarter.
This is very physical.
Tornabane gets the first free throw to fall. Lead down to 2.
He's having a heck of a quarter.
Taylor to take a seat. As Proctor returns, he's got 3 fouls of his own, 3 on Tornabane as well. Surprised they haven't tried to go at him, try to pick up that 4th. Both free throws knocked in. Tornabane, the 6'7" senior, has had a big hand in this run. As Northwest, this run now up to 14 straight.
It's like 16-4 being outscored here in the quarter, something like that.
Sanford steps back, fires the 3. What an answer! Bryce Sanford finally gets a shot off, and he knocks it in. Lead back up to 4, giving a little bit of breathing room now for Northwest.
You lean on your guy. I mean, he is your guy. They're going to get a foul. Tough. That was a hard foul on Nathan Ruish. I think just a frustration foul getting away from him.
Manning came up with the steal, a big defensive play there as well. And Johnston will change his lineup up. That set of 5 had an amazing set of plays, though.
But I think it hurt them, when you play such good defense, it wears on you. And I think that was what killed them. They were so good in the beginning of the first quarter, and then once that half started going on, you're like, they started loosening up on defense. You get tired.
And I think Brandon's been a big reason for that. He brought a lot of energy on the bench, and there's going to be a reach-in foul here called against Proctor. That'll be number 4 on him. Proctor on the year averaging 9.5 per game, scoreless here tonight. Taylor immediately replaces him on the floor. Quick rest for Prestige. Taylor's had a good game himself, double-digit scoring. And he's done a good job handling this offense tonight and hounding Kelderman. Kelderman, no points here in the second half.
That's 6 in the second. Good pass.
Beautiful bounce pass from Tigas. Sets up Sanford on the lane and give him 20, another 20-point game. As Kerr picks up his dribble, gives it off to Taylor. Comes around the screen. Another screen set.
Johnston in the half-court set is just not as good as they are in transition. Because then you're double thinking.
Kerr picked up his dribble, got it over, and Simpson's going to be fouled. I'm surprised they didn't call an offensive foul. On the first time he went up, it looked like he got a hand out and made contact with Natish. The foul will go against Sanford, just his second. Lucky to have it not go against Natish. That would have been number 4. Simpson leaves the first one long.
Still scoreless tonight. He's had a tough time.
75% free throw shooter on the season. Second one left short. The third one probably would have been right down the middle.
It's tough to miss those in a game like this. Overall, great quarter by Johnston, but man, you can't give up a shot here because the momentum is already quickly shifting back to Northwest.
Northwest, their lead back up to 6, a 5-0 run for them. They say basketball is a game of runs, and that's been the exact case here tonight.
It has been.
Kelderman guarded by Grandin.
Oh, beautiful.
Sanford goes up.
I tell you, Natish had no business catching the ball here and turning around and still making that pass. Beautiful, beautiful vision to know that Sanford was going to be there. Sets Price up to go to the line where it's pretty much automatic.
Not too bad for a 6'7" sophomore.
Yeah. And he's going to bulk up. I mean, he's going to get bigger. And, it's scary because he's already starting to figure out his game as the season's going on.
Sam Johnson will come in for the first time for Northwest, as Johnson will bring in some of their starters back into the game as they look to try and whittle this lead back down, which is moving back up to 7. Sanford still perfect from the line.
Also, Tyler, we talked about it. Northwest already in the bonus the rest of the way, so that's going to be a tough thing to deal with.
Richardson comes down hard, puts a shot up, no good. Sanford tips it away. Coes, there's no foul, but there we go. Crowd not happy with the call, but I don't know how you don't call a foul on that.
And that foul is going to send Northwest to the line for at least one shot. I think, Johnson's knowing it too. I mean, at the end of the buzzer, you got to just let it go. It's not like Northwest is going to go back down and hit a shot. So.
And they're trying to say it to wave it off, but it looked like that contact was made before the buzzer.
About right when the buzzer was going off. I think he's going to shoot.
Waiting for the official call from.
He's going to let the music play.
And the big thing here is if he gets an opportunity 1-on-1 and knocks in both free throws, that would give him an opportunity to push this lead back into double figures after Johnston had pushed it to 1 point.
I mean, how much time are they going to put on the clock? Oh. Even then, I feel like it wasn't anything on the clock.
I'm surprised they didn't just take him over there and let him shoot with no time
left. That's what I thought they were just going to have to. Make it look like a technical pretty much. They're still waiting for the clock to push. I guess to make sure the teams didn't get extra minutes in the huddle. But this tough end of the quarter for Johnston. I mean, he got it almost tied, and then you're going to walk away with possibly a 10-point deficit. Just feels like a gut punch after what you did.
Game of runs.
Yeah.
First points of the game for Andrew Coase. And he'll knock in both of them. 2 big free throws there. Shot comes up well short, and that'll do it here in the third quarter. Northwest, nice patience and battled back after seeing their lead erased. And they are up 10 heading into the fourth quarter. We'll be right back here on CISN with the fourth and final quarter of tonight's action.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today.
We're back here on CISN.TV. Northwest, a 9-0 run to close out the quarter after Johnston had erased a 15-point lead, cut it all the way down to 1. The Wolves now lead by 10, heading into the fourth quarter. 8 minutes of action left here tonight. It's been a good night of basketball for tries to come up with a steal here. Rolls around for a little bit. Coase comes up with it. And Kelderman trying to push the issue. Finds Sanford here on the near side corner. Puts up the 3 off the side of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Proctor. Proctor scoreless here tonight. 4 fouls for him. A couple players in foul trouble, and a blocking foul will be called here against Coase. That'll be his first. 16 foul against Northwest. But foul trouble, like I mentioned, Sakaranthi and Tiggis both with 3 for Northwest. And for Johnston, Samuel Tornabane, who had a huge third quarter for them, he's got 3, and Talon Proctor with 4. They've gotten some really good bench minutes. Dylan Grandin, not a guy that gets a lot of playing time, as he's only taken 13 shots on the season, but he played some amazing minutes defensively for Johnston as Tornabane misses the shot but corrals the long rebound. Proctor will come off the screen, has his pass tipped away. And it's coming over the back. Actually, it was just a bad pass.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of been that kind of night in some aspects. Tough passing.
So Northwest will regain the ball. They're on an 11-0 run of their own. And I know I've said it a couple times, but game of runs.
It's wild. Like 10 minutes ago, I was like, all right, this is going to be a good finish. And then Northwest picks it right back up. Started to exploit the defense that Johnston was starting to roll out. Johnston, like I said, they scored a lot of those points in transition. Once they got in that half-court set, things got pretty difficult.
Shot put up and buried from the wing by Henry Manning. First 3 of the game for him. Gives Sanford the assist. Sanford a double-double tonight. This will be a foul on the shot. They'll send Taylor to the free throw line. Just a second foul against Kelderman here tonight. First shot off the back of the rim, no good. The run continues. Northwest, They've had runs of 11 and 14. Johnston with a run of 14 of their own earlier. But we talked about Johnston erased that lead, got it down to 1 with a 14-0 run, and Northwest has responded with a 14-0 run of their own, which is now ended as Taylor finally gets Johnston back on the board.
Well, it makes you think Johnston could do it again. I mean, if they pick it up and do what they did there in the third. The way this game's gone, you never know.
Tigas will catch this at the top of the key as Sanford looking to get some action towards the rim. And Tornabane didn't get a piece of it, but affected the shot. And here's Richardson come back the other way. He's going to be fouled in transition, but he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-1 either way.
Yeah, this quarter, the way these two teams have fouled, this quarter will probably really slow down because of these bonus shots. Both teams with 8 fouls.
Coase picks up his second. 1-1 coming up here for Richardson. Held scoreless in the first half, had 4 in the third quarter. Knocks in the first shot. Trying to will his team to another comeback with 6:08 remaining. Two for 2 from the line.
It's kind of weird, despite, unless they play in the playoffs, this is the last time these two teams will face each other this year. Usually you think, you play in the beginning, then you play them at the very end. But, these two teams, Northwest won the first one by 10. Fairly even at a couple times tonight, but Northwest has definitely gotten better since the start of the year, it feels like, despite the loss to Valley.
Tornabane turns, fires, and hits a 3. Dragons aren't going away yet. 6 straight. Tornabane now with 16 tonight. Ball thrown around the outside. Kelderman will give it off to Sanford. Sanford looking to go to work with 22 and 10 to his credit in the evening. Kelderman can't get the shot to fall. Ball knocked away, but it'll stay with Northwest off of the rebound.
It's a tough tenacity by Johnston. I mean, like you said, they won't go away. I mean, just good defense all across. There's been points in this game where you're like, well, this thing's over, but Dragons just continue to hound Northwest on defense. It's only if they can keep it up there.
And good defense by Rouge as he's able to guard that left hand of Kelderman. Coase can't knock in the 3, and Johnson looking to whittle this lead down a little bit more. Can get it to 2 possessions with a 3. Richardson, nice spin move down low, layup up and good. That's 4 straight for Jalen Richardson.
Now he's starting to figure it out. And, a player of his caliber who leads the team in points per game, don't let him get hot.
Kelderman resetting the offense here. 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Stepping through the defense, finds Manning, and they're going to call a travel. So Johnston not done yet. There's going to be a timeout on the floor. Full timeout, so we'll take one as well. Game coming down to the wire, 4:32 remaining. You're watching basketball here on CISN.TV.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
4.5 minutes remaining, a 7-point differential as Northwest. They had a 14-0 run to get it back to a 15-point lead, but Johnston continuing to be a pain in the butt for this defense.
You know what this tells me is that Johnston, when they get the playoffs, are not going to be easy. They're going to be one of those teams that just kind of hangs around. And, I mean, their last couple losses, lost to Indianola by 1, lost to Waukee by 10, lost to Dallas Center Grimes by 3. I mean, they're not losing by much.
Shot put up, missed by Taylor. Rebounded by Sakaranthi. Big board there to end the offensive possession. Northwest trying to end this cold spell.
It's about identical to what the third quarter was. Northwest just hasn't scored. I mean, 5 points here this quarter so far in just 4 minutes.
Sanford forced to pick up his dribble, gives it out to Manning. Halfway done with the shot clock. Tiggis gets it back up to Sanford. Now to Kelderman. 8 seconds on the clock. Slices through the defense. Gets triple team. Over in the corner to Tiggis. With 1. Puts the shot up. Left it short. Richardson brings in the ball, and he's looking to attack again. If he looked up, he had Simpson wide open down low. No one was back guarding him.
Well, and where Johnston's transition offense has been the best part so far for them tonight, that's a shocking miss.
Rouge forced to pick up his dribble, gives it off to Taylor. Looks to go to work down low. Gives it back off to Rouge, guarded close by Manning. Manning's been playing great defense here tonight on Rouge. He's been in his jersey. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor cuts back, fires the 3, and Tiggis got a piece of that one.
Boy, I don't.
I'm surprised they actually called the shot clock violation and didn't just let him go.
They usually don't do that, which is, I mean, it's good to see them do that because usually that's what you're supposed to do, but just empty possession. Tough to have that empty of possession here with just 3 minutes to go, but now you put a lot of pressure on your defense, who's already seems to be getting worn out.
Tornabain returns to action, and this team's going to be at their best offensively. They can have Tornabain and Richardson on the floor, but right now they need as much healthy legs as they can. This one, it's a poor shot from Sakaranthi. Hit a couple threes early on in the season, hasn't taken much over the last 6 or 7 games.
And I didn't think you had to take it. You know, you still had a lot of time on the clock. You still could have had a wide open drive to the baseline.
And with a 3-possession lead, you want to work the clock. Proctor catches it, and he'll get it back to Tornabain. Reaching foul called here, though, against Sanford. That'll be number 3 on him, number 9 on the Wolves. So Tornabain has been making a killing at the free throw line. I want to say he's knocked in 8 of them here tonight.
I don't blame Price for, playing that close. The way Tornabain shot, has shot like Price. Can just shoot over top of anyone.
Trying to cut it back to 2 possessions. First one is good for the senior.
I got him for 10, 11, 14, 17, 18.
I think that does make it
18. Buckle up. This thing's not over yet.
5-point game. Ball thrown ahead. Oh. Beautiful pass. And Sakaranthi lays it. I thought he was going to dunk it. Big first assist for Henry Manning in this half. There's going to be a jump ball.
I just don't agree with that shot there by Taylor Proctor. He's just had a tough night tonight. Wait till everybody gets back, then you see what you can do.
And I think the big thing about that basket by Sakaranthi, really just pushing it back to 3 possessions, that's 3 trips down the floor that Northwest has in between these shot attempts. For Johnston, time for them to take off the clock, and with one of the best free throw shooters in the entire state. Proctor coming off the screen from Tornabain, going to work, and they're going to be a reaching foul here, and whether it goes to Sakaranthi or Tiggis. That's his 4th.
But Johnston's wasting time. I mean, there's only 1:52 left. I know it's just a 7-point game, but I just feel like you're wasting minutes here.
But now you get an opportunity with easy shots at the free throw line that are not timed.
I know Northwest likes the hands-up defense, but maybe sometimes now you're in the last, sit back, force them to take shots. Because in the first half, that hurt Johnston.
And that's a big miss from Tornabain. I know it's easy to say that coming back from 5 is a lot different than coming back from, but it really is. A 3 and a 2 feels very different from down 2 threes. Because that still feels like a 3-possession game, potentially. Tornabain bounces back, knocks in the second. Gets it back to 6. Northwest can get it under 1.5 minutes left before the end of their possession if they avoid the 10-second call, which they do. Get it over to Manning. Now, as Northwest going to move this ball around a little bit. Kelderman guarded up top by Proctor. Proctor's got to be careful. 4 fouls on him. A little bit of a back dribble for Kelderman. Gets it over to Sanford. Sanford backs his way down, gets it back out to Kelderman. Open for 3. A big shot from Cade Kelderman. His first points since the second quarter.
That might be the dagger.
9 points, 3 assists tonight for Kelderman. Johnston will use a timeout. And like you mentioned, that might have been the big one to end this game. Minute 11 left. We'll take a short break and be right back here on CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore. 109th and Douglas in Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
A minute 11 remaining here in tonight's action. Northwest 55, Johnston 46. In Johnston, they're just looking for an answer. As Northwest, they're the type of team, they've got so many shooters. They've got playmakers that it's what we saw in the girls' game on Johnston's side.
Yeah.
There's so many weapons that it's hard to find someone to cover late in a game like this.
That is, and that's what's hurt Johnston. I mean, you know, of all guys to leave open, Cade Kelderman, that was a tough one to let go. Get that big 3, extend the lead back to 9. It's going to take a big type of hustle momentum type play here for Johnston to get back in this thing.
Last thing Johnston can have is a turnover. You want a quick basket as Taylor catches it. Floater in, can't get it to fall. Tornabane turns, can't get the shot to fall, and Tigas will bring down the rebound. Big rebound there for Tigas. Goes back out to Kelderman. Under a minute remaining as Northwest looks like they're going to hang on for the victory here tonight.
Yeah, I get this kind of like, when do you foul? Do you want to foul? Now they say foul, if you can.
And Sanford's just like, yeah, come foul me, please.
Yeah. And with the shot clock, it's made these not quite this situation, but it's made some of these situations interesting. Now you can get a 2-for-1. Now you can, play different types of games with the shot clock. And, when we get down to the postseason time, I'm interested to see who has perfected these last couple minutes when it comes to the new shot clock era.
First shot from Sanford is good. He's at his season average now with 23. First points of the fourth quarter for him.
Yeah.
Both shots are good. Sanford, another impressive game to add to his resume. 24-10, and might have missed a rebound here or there with how many times this ball's bounced around.
Well, what do you think? Is the score going to look like how this thing was, or is it not going to look like how this thing was? This game's just kind of been weird, in my opinion.
This has been the pristine example of the statement, basketball is a game of runs.
Yeah.
The fact that Northwest had an early 11-0 run, got up 15, Johnston erased it with a 14-0 run, and Northwest immediately built it back up for Johnston to go on a 10-0 run.
Yeah. Well, and, this is a big win for Northwest. Not only CIML win over a pretty good CIML win, but, to recover. I mean, that was a tough loss on Tuesday night. And like you and I talked about, probably the best thing that could have happened to them. Now, tomorrow, you got to go to Iowa City High. That's not a fun trip. It's about a 2-hour drive. Iowa City High is not the best team, but, you got to wake up. You got to get going, got to get back on the road, and, prepare, because next week's the big one, next Friday in Waukee.
Yeah, and the big thing, you can't look ahead. I mentioned it earlier that they did a great job not looking ahead past this game, because you could look at Johnson's 5-7 record, and, that's when you lead to a trap game. Shot no good. Sanford hauls in yet another rebound. And looking to dribble this one out as they'll get across half court. And that'll do it here tonight. Final score, Northwest 58, Johnston 46. A hard-fought game between two CIML rivals. These two squads have had some interesting matchups over the last 3 years, going even back to when a majority of this team was still playing for Waukee. But the Wolves capture with a 13-point win. And it was a great game between two good squads, and Johnston's going to be a tough out for anyone come playoff time, no matter if they're at 500 or above. Price Sanford leads the way, 24 points, 11 rebounds, goes with 3 assists, a couple big defensive plays as well. Nati Sakaranthi, great energy off the bench. Grant Tiggis hit clutch shots. Same with Cade Kelderman and Henry Manning hit like he always does. He may not shoot the best, but he's going to hit a big three every time.
Yeah, and that was the big difference maker in that one. I mean, just Cade getting that big shot. Northwest, I mean, this is about how a Northwest game goes. You get your runs going. That's the big thing for Northwest. Good win for the Wolves. Get back on track. Look ahead to next week. Look ahead to tomorrow, Iowa City High, then look ahead to next week.
A very weird second half, though. I don't think I've ever seen 3 straight double-digit runs from each team.
It was an odd night, but good teams can withstand that, and Northwest is one of those teams.
So the Wolves and the Dragons split the doubleheader. The girls picking up the win. The Johnston Dragons, #1 team in the state, remains undefeated. Northwest on the other side, they came in #1 this week, lost to Valley, but bounced back with a 13-point win over Johnston. We'll see where the rankings have them at. Probably still in the top 3, and with Dubuque Senior going down, but probably a new #1 with undefeated Cedar Rapids Kennedy still out there. For my broadcast partner, Blake Walker, and all of us here at CISN.TV, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western. More jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year.